Do you feel Coi owes you an apology?
I got thick skin, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of them people, like, let's just forget it, move forward. Because I went through a lot, man. And it was hard for me, you know what I'm saying, to be looked upon as like, I've been caught all kind of shit, but a deadbeat dad? Come on, man. I love my daughter. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be known as that. Like, I don't care what people think, but that hurt me. That's my daughter. I raised her. When people say I hate on Coi's career and I'm jealous and all this, that shit is like, man, like, it's evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Because my love is huge for that little girl, man. That's my little girl, man.
Can we get him some tissue, please, out the back?
Man. Yeah. You know, people see us arguing on the internet. It ain't nothing that I'm proud of.
Was it hard, though, not speaking to her during that period?
Of course. This whole thing was one of the worst things I've been through in my life. I've been through hell.
And I know you recently watched Coi Leray on the stage for the first time. I think that was Rolling Loud, right?
Still got the thing on.
So what was that like?
To see thousands of people going crazy over her, it just was like, it was surreal. And when I was up there, I just was like, man, I want it to be closure.
Get what it do? It's your boy Stunt Lifestyle, and you are watching the We in Miami podcast. And today we got the one and only, the rapper, the producer, the media mogul, and television personality, the one and only hip hop legend, Benzino.
Well, I appreciate the love, bro.
Hey man, welcome to the podcast, man. It's an honor to have you on.
Pleasure to be here.
I've been trying to track this guy down for so long. I remember a year ago I met him, man. I've been wanting to get him on the podcast. It's an honor to have you here. And yeah, we're gonna turn up tonight. So before we get into it, I gotta ask you, where we at, Benzino?
Man, you know where we at. We in Miami.
We in Miami.
Let's go.
Hey man, so like everybody know you, like you be cut up in the gym and stuff, man. I just gotta get into it. What's your like workout regimen? Because I'm trying to gain weight. I'm diabetic. I'm vegan. Like, well,
you just gotta go. You know, you just gotta go. And how I can simplify it is, you just gotta feel the pain. And, you know, when you go in the gym, you can't be playing around. You go in there for an hour and a half, and as long as you're sweating and it gets uncomfortable for you, you know you're putting in work and you're gonna see results. You just gotta go.
What's the most you ever benched?
330.
Damn.
That was the most I ever benched, 330.
You heard about that dude in the news? Someone broke their back recently.
Yeah, man.
Like, it's dangerous.
Yeah, no, it is dangerous. I mean,
you ain't never lifted something too much where you like, yo, I almost.
I tore a rotator cuff in my shoulder. That
Wow.
hurt. Yeah, that hurt. And I was out of commission for about 8 months. But, you know, with the gym, man, you get addicted to it, man.
Right.
I just love working out. To be honest with you, it's like my sanctuary. It's like my church.
Right.
You know, you go in there with your music, and man, you know, you just kind of zone everything out, because the gym is just for you.
Right.
You know, whereas that you might be out here and spreading yourself out to your family, your friends, your significant other, and
So that's like your peace place.
that's my piece.
Do people mess with you though? Like fans be running up while you working out?
Yeah.
Does that get annoying, or you?
You know what? It never does for me, because where I came from, Four Corners, Dorchester, Roxbury, Boston, Mass, man. Listen, people want to come take a picture with me. It's a blessing. You know, I was in the bathroom just taking a leak, and somebody tapped me on my shoulder.
While you was peeing?
And I was like, yo, can you just hold on?
Like, just wait, bro.
Yeah,
Let me flush the toilet first and pull my pants.
Let me wash my hands.
Some people be taking it too far, man. How you gonna try to get a picture while someone taking?
He was super excited. It was at a restaurant called Twist over there in Lenox.
Oh, I remember that restaurant.
Yeah, Twist.
Yeah, I remember Twist.
And he was excited. I mean, a lot.
Then they shut down, right?
Yeah,
I remember that.
A lot of times, I could be eating, and this is the one that gets me. They'd be like, you know, I know you're here eating, and I don't want to bother you. And the first thing that comes to my mind, I'm like, but you're doing it.
But you're bothering me.
But I give them a smile, and I say, of course, come on, let's go. You know what I mean?
That's good, because it's like an honor to be able to be in a
blessing,
position
man.
where people, it makes their day just to get a picture with you.
What's better than that? Like the way, how I grew up, where we grew up. What is better
than putting smiles on people's faces because they want to take a picture with you. Like, I don't understand people who get upset and be like, no, I don't want to take it. I just don't get it, because with me, it's like, you know, it could be a hell of a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing.
Facts, man. Hey, man, well, I want to see a workout with Benzino TV show, man. What y'all think? You could take like skinny celebrities and like get them cut up.
That'd be dope, you know, because you know what? Like, I've been working out so long. Like, after I had got shot in my arm, you know, when I was on Love and Hip Hop, I had got shot. Like, I couldn't lift 2 pounds. So
Damn, who shot you?
This is when my nephew shot me when I was on Love and Hip Hop.
Oh yeah,
going to my mother's funeral.
Damn.
And I couldn't lift.
What happened with that?
Well, what the story led up to it after, like, you know what I'm saying?
So he shot you. He got locked up for that.
Well, see, I didn't, you know, I didn't say he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
They asked me. What happened was my mother had passed away, and we were shooting Love and Hip Hop.
Right.
And I had flew to Boston, and you know there had been some family situations that I really don't want to talk about, but some family tension. And you know, of course, family tension is always over money. You know,
right?
It's always that. So, you know, I came at the time. Me and out there had got together, and she had flew up with me to go see my mother. You know, I left her at the hotel because I felt something funny. You know, Boston's my city, so I don't have any problems going to Boston. The streets is pretty. I've been in the streets in Boston since I was 12 years old.
Right.
So I didn't necessarily, you know, there's nothing to be leery of in Boston for me. You know, I got a big crew up there. And you know, I went up there, I seen my mom. You know, my mother was like my best friend, so it was hard for me because, you know, I'm her only son.
Right.
And my older sisters they have another father. So she had passed away, and it was sudden. And, you know, I went down there, and I knew there was some tension between, you know, my nephew and, you know, my sister. And I decided not to go to the wake with everybody else. I wanted to see her. You know, so I decided to do a closed casket. I didn't want to see her like that.
Right.
And I went early, you know, since stayed with her for about an hour. And then I decided I wouldn't go to the funeral because I didn't want the rest of the family to be subjected to what's going on.
Right.
So I went back to my hotel, and I was leaving the next morning. And by my surprise, Stevie had called me and said, "Yo, I'm in Plymouth, Massachusetts." Now I'm from the hood in Boston. Plymouth is like the Cape, Cape Cod, like real suburban, type thing. Not rich suburban, but you know they got
like
money,
middle
nice
class
houses. You know what I'm saying? You know, so she wanted to be buried out there because that's where my mother's from. She's Cape Verdean, and a lot of Cape Verdeans are from Carver, Plymouth, and that of Kingston, and that whole area of Cape Cod, all through the Cape. So, you know, Stevie was there, and I was like, "Man, what the hell are you doing there? It's about 45 minutes from Boston." I'm like, "Yo, you know, I came to surprise you." So he was coming to surprise me at my mother's funeral, but he didn't know I decided not to go.
Right.
So I said, "Man."
And when you say Stevie J, you talking about Stevie
Sleezo, yeah.
Stevie J, yeah,
Stevie.
okay.
So I said, "Look, I'm gonna come get you," because he was far out. I said, "I'm gonna come pick you up." So, you know, I had a rental. I went to go pick him up. Now, the highway that leads out to Cape Cod is like the widest highway in Boston, like Route 3. You know, it's a 2-lane highway. It's broad daylight, 12 o'clock. I said, "Okay, I'm gonna come get you."
Right.
Just stay there. I'll be there in about 45 minutes. He said, "I bet I'm gonna get something to eat." He gave me the address. As I was going out there, I noticed a procession with cars and they blinkers. And the first thing that came to mind, I was like, "Wow, I wonder if this is my mother. I wonder." And then I'm riding, and I'm noticing people in my family as I'm driving up, you know, towards the end of the procession.
Right.
So I'm on the left side, the procession's on the right, they're going slow. I noticed the 2 hearses, there's 2 hearses, big hearses. And then I drive up, the next thing you know, pop, 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 you know.
Damn.
So, you know, I got hit.
Bruh.
I got hit 3 times, my shoulder, my back. And
so he was trying to take you out.
I mean, you know, listen, anytime you're in, it wasn't the first time I've been shot, and it wasn't the first time I've been in shootouts. Like you know, I grew up all around that. That was my life.
I know you got a
Boston.
couple of teardrops right there, man.
I mean, you know, like I was in the streets like since 13. My father did a lot of work in Boston as far as the streets go, the mafia.
Right.
He did like 20-something years Fed time. So my father was a big time player in New England as well as New York.
Wow.
And So, you know, I was in the streets heavy, like 12, 13 years old and selling drugs and, you know, doing missions for my dad. And, you know, I'm meeting these great, you know, I consider them great. I know people have their own opinions, but these mob guys, these real
Right.
top mob guys in Providence, Rhode Island, I'm visiting them, you know, bringing messages from my dad to them. And, you know, like they know me as my father's young son. And as
Right.
I grow up, you know, I had a real relationship with these guys. You know,
How many shootouts have you been in
man,
since you was 13? Damn, that
I mean,
many?
I could say over 25, definitely. you know
Damn,
what I'm
25
saying?
shootouts?
At least. Yeah.
Damn.
You know, from then, yeah.
You
I
done
mean,
been in more shootouts than Suge Knight.
no, I mean, I'm be honest. People don't really understand how Boston really was and still is. Like people,
You're right, because people think about Boston. If you've never been to Boston, you think about Boston, it just seems like some like cobblestone road, some like just
nah,
like
man,
all
it's-
like white
right.
people,
And then when
rich.
you watch any type of Celtics games, all you see is white people. You don't
Right,
see
yeah,
nobody.
you don't see the hood.
Like in Memphis, you see the hood. Or if
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. I was born
You
in
know,
Memphis, and I'm here to tell you right now, Memphis gets
when
hood.
you see them play, you see nothing but black people in the, and so you judge. It's funny because when people don't live there, you judge the city by what you
See on TV, right.
TV or what you hear. So the city of Boston is a real white, old money, white town. Irish, Italian, they pretty much run the political landscape of Boston.
Right, and quick question: what nationality are you? I've always been
Cape
curious.
Verdean and Puerto Rican.
Okay, so you have Puerto
Yeah,
Rican.
I got the two flags, the Cape Verdean flag. And,
Okay.
Now, Cape Verde and the islands are for the coast of Africa
Right,
of Portuguese descent, like Brazil is.
right.
So I just found out through my girl. I want to shout my girl Ashley, who's responsible.
Hey,
really.
shout out to Ashley,
Shout out to my
bringing the
beautiful
legend on the
yeah,
show.
she's the one that turned me on to you guys.
For
you know what
sure.
I'm saying? So
So what do you
Um,
consider yourself though? Like when people
black.
ask you, black. Okay, got you.
yeah. Because you know when I grew up, you know, it was I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you go to school, it says white, black, and
Right.
other.
Right,
There was nothing else back then. You know, I'm 58.
right.
So you know what I'm saying. So back then it was white, black, and
Or
other.
other, yeah.
And I wasn't picking other.
Right.
I know I'm not white,
Right.
black. You know what I'm saying? So
I hate when black people choose other and just try not to claim that they black. Don't you hate that?
that's.
I
mean,
remember years ago I met this girl, very very pretty girl, very dark skinned girl, very beautiful girl, and I asked, I said something about she being black, and she was like, "I'm not black, I'm mixed," or I'm like, bro, like you're black, like be proud of that. I'm just like, our culture is the only culture that's not proud to be what we are. It's so
well,
crazy.
I mean, but there's reasons for that. You know,
Right.
I mean, you take it back to
It
slavery.
gets deep, yeah.
You know, that's one of the problems is
Right.
trying to figure out who we are. And even me growing up, I didn't know about my Cape Verdean heritage. I didn't speak Spanish. I knew my grandmother was Puerto Rican in New York. All my dad's family was from New York.
Right.
So I'd be shipped up there every summer, and I'd spend months in New York. And you know, I grew up black. So all my guys, all my niggas around me in the hood were all black.
Right.
There wasn't even too many Spanish guys in my hood at that time. It was so
Do you feel like you had to prove yourself more being light skinned?
never.
Because you know how they say
I
like
never-
light skinned guys get tried more than dark
I'm gonna
skinned
be
guys.
honest, man. I'm gonna be honest. This is the true shit because this is like I've never felt no light skin difference. I've always I might be the blackest light skinned motherfucker anybody ever met because I just never seen light skin. I never knew the difference. I never looked at it as a difference. I
Right.
just knew we was all niggas. We all on the hood. We all trying to get money. I just looked at everybody as the same. I didn't
Right.
see
Light skin,
light
dark
and
skin.
dark. I
Yeah.
just never did. You know what I'm saying? And it was
What do you
kind-
prefer though, like woman wise? Light skin, dark skin?
Well, I mean,
Spanish,
I had
black,
I
what do
had
you like?
times like right now. My baby's beautifully black. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
darker. You know, she's the most dark skinned woman I've ever been with. But there was a time like when I lived in Miami, I dated nothing but Spanish women.
Yeah, because that's what they have here.
I dated nothing but then when I went to Atlanta, it was like beautiful black.
Okay, so for the people that don't understand, this is how it works. In Miami, it has the most beautiful Spanish women, but Atlanta, it is nothing more beautiful than the black women in Atlanta. Atlanta has so many beautiful black women. You can be at Walmart, you'll see them. You can be at the store. They everywhere. It's nothing like it. Miami cannot compare to Atlanta
Miami- well,
when it
see-
comes to the black women.
See, Miami has beautiful black women too.
They do.
have
They do.
See, I don't want to. Yeah, because and it's funny. I used to live in Houston back in '90s.
Oh, it's a lot in Houston too.
Houston have brown skinned women, like
Right.
they're brown, like they're right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just crazy because I've been in every
Houston ain't no joke now.
man. Listen, Detroit, Washington. I can.
Oh
Go
yeah,
on.
DC.
I can go on and on.
DC
There's
has a lot of
beautiful women all around the
professional
country.
black women, a lot of black lawyers, and a lot of DC has the most black attorneys
DC got
in
some
any
real
state.
red bones, some real,
Yeah.
real light skinned, pretty short hair,
Right.
Halle Berry cut women when I was coming up, like
Right.
going to Howard University and seeing women.
Oh, you went to Howard?
No, like going.
Oh, you used to go there to pull the girls?
Yeah. Like I barely graduated from high school. I mean, but the only time
Then Diddy went to Howard, right?
He went to Howard.
But did he graduate?
He graduated.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Yep. They just gave him an honorary degree, I think. So I don't, but I know they just gave him an honorary degree.
You ever worked with him
On
anything?
We got a song together.
Hey.
Called "Who's Benzino." We wasn't in the studio together.
Oh, separate. You sent this record to him?
Yeah, he got the record. Kanye West produced it,
Oh wow,
but we didn't know it was Kanye at the time. You know, it went through
that's crazy.
2 other producers, and then the money I spent was a guy here. Then he went to 2 other producers. Then they went to Kanye. So
Wow, this guy's a legend. You just got a Kanye beat by mistake. Didn't
crazy,
even know it.
man. I don't even know if Kanye knows and shit.
You ever partied with Diddy?
Some. I remember at this party, and there was a celebrity. I don't want to name her. I'm gonna write a book, and I think so. I'll let it out.
We gotta have that Benzino book because this man has seen it and done it all. He been in the game since 1987.
Well, look, I could say the first time I ever spun on 2 turntables was I was 11 years old in my grandfather's basement in the Bronx on Cedar Avenue, and off of Fordham Road. Like, I've been in hip hop since it's 50 years old, so I've been involved with it for 47 years.
Wow,
Literally.
that's crazy. Round of applause for that.
Yeah, rap groups, Source Magazine.
And for the people that don't know, he is the co-founder of Source Magazine and Source Awards. You had your first issue in 1988, right?
Yes.
And Source Awards, man, and Source Magazine, it's regarded as the Bible of hip hop. Like, it's like the legendary magazine. I remember, man, like that magazine, man, like you made history with that. And I know it's so much like drama and stuff you could talk about with that magazine. Like, that's a book in itself.
I mean, it changed my life. You know, meeting Dave Mays in Boston. You know, Dave's Jewish, me being, you know, melanated man, because it's like, okay, I'm black, Puerto Rican, Cape Verdean, but it's like me being black, Dave being white and Jewish. We came together. Dave was from DC. We came together in '88. We met each other on some hip hop shit. He came to interview my group, the Almighty RSO, at a radio station. He was going to Harvard University, and we just forged a friendship. Started the Source. You know, he had a radio station, and me and my DJ would go up there and co-host it while my DJ he had 1 hour on every Saturday. It was like you know, what is that music? Symphony music, you know,
Right.
up in Harvard, like a
Right.
school radio station. So he started as a 1-page newsletter with KRS on it, like in black and white, 1 piece of paper.
Wow.
And we ended up, in our peak, we was making a couple of $1 million a month. And that
Wow.
cash and advertising.
Crazy.
Like,
How much money did it take to start Source? Like, how much did you
him and
invest?
his 3 buddies put in? They might have put in. I think they probably put in 50,000 apiece, 30,000. To be honest, I really don't know the exact. He had 3 other college guys:
Mm-hmm.
John Schechter, James Bernard, and H. Edward Young, and they was all college buddies. You know what I'm saying? They not street, just strictly college.
Right.
But back then it was either you was in the streets or you was in college, and hip hop, you know, grasped both. The streets, there was gangster, then there was conscious and backpack, which was college.
Right.
So these guys came from college. Dave had the vision. They all loved hip hop when hip hop came, and they decided that, listen, we can report hip hop around the country, and nobody's doing it, and it was an amazing situation. Now, 4 years later, 5 years later, me and Dave's relationship had grown. You know, I was still in the streets. Like, I was heavy. I was selling a lot of drugs. I was doing a lot of shit in Boston.
Right.
So the Source wasn't really making no money when it.
This was before it was making the money.
Yeah, I mean, shit. The Source was in '88. Source didn't really stop making money until probably 10 years later.
Wow.
You know, making money. But
See, and that's what I tell people, man. Like, you got to be patient with your business. They say don't start a business unless you're prepared to not make money for, I think, a couple of years. I know that can be hard, but like, it takes time to build something great.
listen, you know,
10 years later,
I
that's when the
came
money
in
came in.
5 years later when Dave decided to give me half of the percentage and be his partner because the staff was pissed off because he had put an article with me and my group, the RSO, in there. They said that, well, you guys are friends. The group shouldn't have been in there. But we had been signed to Tommy Boy. We had been signed. Eazy-E was about. I mean, we had done a lot as a rap group from Boston.
Right.
Now, everybody wanted Dave to step down, so Dave ended up buying the 4 guys out early. It wasn't a lot because it wasn't making money, and then he gave me. He said, "Yo, you want to be my partner?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then we rocked out ever since, and we did a lot of amazing things with the Source. When I first got on the Source, like I said, it wasn't making money. I was in and out of jail. I was going through shit with the streets. I had more money than the Source, like from my street money at the time, because, but Dave, going to Harvard, Dave's from 2 Jewish parents and everything.
So he had money like family money.
So he was all right. He wasn't rich, but he had nothing to worry about. He didn't have to sell drugs.
Yeah.
So, he was a whiz when it comes to advertisement. He understood that, look, these companies one day, like the McDonald's, back then they wasn't. Like, what people don't give the credit of where I could say Dave is that Dave had a vision because a lot of these companies was not accepting advertising. They wasn't fucking with hip hop. They was like, get that shit out of here. We don't have nothing to do with it.
So they didn't want to buy ads at first.
There was no ads. He actually opened that door for hip hop, for companies, white companies that would never fuck with niggas to open up.
But how did he do that? Like he just showed the value
there it is. He just kept going up to their offices and kept saying, look, this is the next thing. This is, I'm telling you. And then taking small money. Dave would take low money just to show them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was a show them thing.
Show them results.
And the next thing you know, I mean, think about it, bro. Like, of course I'm fast forwarding it, but the accomplishments we made with the Source was, $25,000 for a full page ad.
Wow.
For one full page ad. And we had 80 pages of ads. So do the math every month.
Crazy.
And, from that, the Source Award.
How much did you make with Source? You had to calculate every penny you ever made from Source. From the magazine to the awards.
This is like, since I was from the streets, I just was always a nigga that was a 24-hour hustler to where I was a hustler like, if you giving me 5 bricks, I'm going to take my shit off the top and go blow it on, go have fun and clothes and jewelry and women. And then I'm going to take yours and go hustle yours and give you yours and shit, right?
Right.
That wasn't the smartest way to hustle, but that's how I was. Me and my, Free my man Trev, we used to be like, we're going to take this ticket and break it quick.
Right.
And man, we used to hear it was called Take a Ticket. And we used to break tickets. And so, I had loot. Now, when I got to the Source, I never knew nothing about money management.
Right.
So Dave is just, I got American Express Platinum card.
Right.
I swiped that motherfucker until there was no more like black on it. I just was like,
you swiped it out.
I swiped it out. Like,
yeah.
Let me tell you one of the things I did. I stayed at like the Beverly Hills Hotel suite that they probably wanted $2,600 a night.
Yeah.
And I stayed there for like 8 months.
Wow. So you were just blowing money.
The Beverly Hills Hotel in the back. See, there's the Beverly Hills Hotel, but then in the back, there's like a little jungle in a maze where they got these suites, right? Where you go in, there's a fireplace and this plush rug, and they come in with big fruit baskets, and you got these plush robes.
You was living like an African king in that hotel.
Dude, I was right next door to Sumner Redstone. He owned Viacom.
Wow.
White dude, old dude. He used to look at me crazy. I used to have my hair half braided.
Right.
Out. He'd just be looking at me, and I'd be like,
it's like, who is this guy right here next door to me? How can he afford this place?
Man, I used to walk with the bathrobe on by the, because back there also was the tennis courts, and he'd come and he'd have, because he's an older guy, he'd have all those people around him. And you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, I respect him because he owned Viacom, but he just used to look at me like, man, you don't belong here.
Right.
I'd be like, motherfucker, you don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you.
How much money do you think you ran through?
I ran through.
You blew some millions.
I was,
the way you was balling out.
That's a great question.
Just to that hotel alone, you probably did $1 million at the hotel.
I probably ran through about 20-something million in a few years. Like,
damn.
A 5-year period. Like
20 million?
Something like around 15.
Damn.
20 mil. Like, yeah, I was out of control.
Like strip clubs too?
I mean, everything you can imagine and 10 times that. Like, At one point, I had more money than Jay, Diddy, everybody in New York. Because
Wow.
like people didn't understand. They didn't know my role in the Source. They're thinking, oh, he's extorting Dave. Oh, he's. But I actually was the ones behind like some of the biggest decisions, like the Source Awards.
Right, yeah.
The Source Hip Hop Hits. These were compilation albums that I came up with.
You brought that other element to the Source that was needed. I mean, Dave is Dave, but
brand.
you brought that
The
like,
brand, the
yeah.
brand, the brand. And then I was in the streets, like
You was in the streets, so
you know,
you had your ear to the streets too.
listen, the Source. Listen, hip hop was the streets, so Dave would have had a hard time. You know what I'm saying? With a company that's making all that money in the jungle. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? So yeah, even though I was muscle, me and my crew had to make sure that shit was right because there was a lot of money involved and they wasn't nobody taking nothing from us.
right.
But also I got to learn. So now I'm learning brand management, I'm learning advertisement and promotion, I'm learning things. But then
Right.
Dave is taking on like, I'm teaching him how to drip, dress, and we're together. We're giving each other what I didn't know, and I'm giving him what he didn't know. And
Right.
we made such an amazing team. And
Right.
like 18 years, me and Dave rocked out every day, and we got indicted
Damn,
by the
18
Fed.
years.
We got indicted by the. I mean, it was amazing highs and it was amazing lows, and we ended up.
So what happened when you got indicted by the feds?
I was being investigated, like the RICO. They wanted to hit me with the RICO because they was in Boston. I had a pretty bad reputation with the police, the federal government, my father.
And it's hard to get out of a RICO charge, man.
I mean, so the original charges was extortion, money laundering, 2 bodies, taxes, and there was a couple other charges.
damn, you got hit with everything.
But this is what they didn't understand, and it was the same thing with Murder Inc. and how they beat theirs, because people don't realize how difficult it is to win a federal case.
Right, yeah.
Like it just doesn't.
It doesn't happen much.
They win 93, 4, 5% of the time, bro. They don't lose. So, but where they miscalculated was they didn't realize how much money we was making just from magazine or Murder Inc. just from music. We're making millions and millions, and the feds at that point didn't fathom it. They're just looking at a bunch of niggas. They're looking at my record, they're looking at my history, and they're like, there's no way he can be getting this. He's funneling the money. He got to be washing the money. They got to be, because
Right.
in their mind, there's no way niggas can be
make
making
that
this money legally.
legitimately, yeah.
Because nobody did it.
Right.
Nobody's ever done that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so 2 years they was investigating me for that. They would sit downstairs from the magazine.
And you knew they were
They would-
investigating it all
they
this
would-
time?
They would follow me all night.
And you would see them.
They would be parked outside.
So they were blatantly like,
They wired up our accountant that we paid
no.
$150,000 for. Yeah. So
That's
Dave hired
crazy.
this accountant. He was a Jewish guy out of Jersey. Now the Source is made up of 2 offices. You got your journalistic side, business side. The journalistic side is like the artwork guys. It's it's wild over there. Smoking, music,
right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
All the creative
but they're
guys.
dope. All the creative. Over
Yeah.
here's business.
Business side.
Quiet, Dave, George Moore, that's the guy's name, George, and a few others, right? Account payables, this and all right. I never had an office at the Source because I'm not an office nigga. I go in Dave's office, there'd be a couch, we'd sit in there, smoke, and then
Right.
I'd meet with Dave, we'd go over everything, and then I'd be back on the road doing what I'm doing.
Right.
George's office was right next to Dave. So when I'm coming up there, hey Ray, hey George, and the most thing I'm talking to him about is New England Patriots
Right.
and the New York Jets. He liked the Jets, I liked the Patriots, and that was it. I don't say too much. I'm like, I didn't get no major time because I wasn't stupid, because I was stupid. My thing is, he wore a wire for 8 months on me, right?
Damn.
So look.
Your own guys. That's what you got to watch out for, your own guys, man.
So look.
It's crazy.
So when we're in court, we found out everything. Of course, the criminal ended up breaking down. They interviewed over 130 people from Boston, there was Pennsylvania and New York, the Source staff. They interviewed everybody. They couldn't get an indictment. So that broke down. They offered me 25 years. They said, if not, you're going to get life because you're going to get kingpin because this is federal. It's a federal RICO. It's not state. Federal RICO. If you're the kingpin, you get life with no parole.
Right.
So that's what they was trying to give me. They said, look, you take 25.
Right.
And I was like, you know what I'm saying? This was early when it was first
25,
started.
that's like.
They went to my mom's crib, God rest her soul, and told her to convince me to take the 25. And that fucked me up. So I knew that, you know, I'm thinking back, I'm like, look, I don't see how they're going to connect the dots to get me for all this time. So I just rolled the dice. That shit, after 2.5 years of them following me and everything, okay, they ended up wiring up George and said, look, okay, we can't get him on none of this because at the end of the day, we made all this money. You can't, it's not money laundering. It's not extortion. It's my company. We made this money. You guys didn't know that. You fucked up. They wasted $3-4 million federal dollars investigating me. So that had to stop. So they indicted me on tax evasion. And how they did it was they wired up George Moore. They said, George said that because you find this out once they're in court. George said that 2 federal guys approached him off the George Washington Bridge. He went to a Dunkin' Donuts with them, sat down, ordered coffee and some donuts. He's telling the whole thing. And they're asking him to wear the wire. And my lawyer asked him, why did you do it? He said, because it thought it would be like an adventure. He thought it would be adventurous. He couldn't, first of all, I'm sitting, it's just me and my lawyer.
He said he thought it would be adventurous. He tripping.
Listen, he came and testified against me and everything. So he's sitting in the witness chair and he's shaking. And I'm looking at this dude. And I remember, you know, I was on tour at the time, and I'd be on the tour bus, and he'd call me back, Ray, we got to do your taxes. And I'm like, I don't know a W-9 from a W-5.
Right, yeah.
That's why you here.
Right.
You supposed to do that. And I used to say, yo, Dave, your man keeps asking me. He used to keep asking me, Ray, when are you going to do your taxes?
Right.
So if I would have said, fuck them taxes, or we ain't got to do the taxes, that's all they needed.
Damn.
Because I was smart enough to like keep hanging up on this nigga, telling Dave, yo, check your because I started getting upset after a while. I started.
Did you suspect anything, or you ain't really?
No, but he wore a fucking thing right here, right? That one day, nobody in our it was a tag clipped to his because he always wore button-up shirts.
Right.
It was a tag clipped to his shirt, and I used to be like, and it had a counting on it with some numbers, and I'd be like, you know, with the metal, it's a metal tag, so it's clipped, but the thing is plastic. But the metal tag clipped is metal.
Right.
And I used to just be like, the fuck is he wearing?
What is that?
But I thought maybe it's some accountant shit. Maybe all accountants now have to wear that. That's what I thought. But I did, something hit me like, what the fuck? And that was the wire.
Wow.
So long story short, it was an all-white jury. You know, I'm in Boston picking the jury in the federal building. Hey, does anybody in here know, when you pick a jury, they say, does anybody in here know Made Man, RSO, Benzino, Source Magazine, Ray Dog, and everybody black and Spanish was like that, they're gone. So I got an all-white jury, so like my goose was cooked. The only reason, they offered me 3 years. Take 3 years like everybody else got.
Right.
Take 3 years. Like everyone, like when you get a tax case, they usually do 3 years.
Right.
Unless it's bad. Take 3 years or she's gonna get 5. I said, you know what? We had already lost the source. Only had my jewelry left. I paid a lawyer. I got rid of the jewelry, paid a lawyer, and I fought the case. And the only reason I fought the case was because I just had Coi. You know what I'm saying? I had my oldest son, Ray, and I said, look, at least I'll be out another year to spend time with them. Then I'll go sit down and do my 3.
Right.
We fought him. In the closing arguments, my lawyer, old Jewish guy from Miami, from down here, Leonard Sands, shout out to Leonard Sands. He passes out in closing arguments, right? They carry
he passed out?
Passes out. They carry him back. Look at, they carry him back to the judge's chamber. He comes out. The ambulance comes. He comes out on the gurney with the mask on, the oxygen mask, and he waves. The next day he came in. His heart defibrillator was fucked up. He came in, gave closing arguments. 2 hours. They found me not guilty.
Wow. Hey, round of applause to that.
Can you believe that?
Do you think him passing out kind of helped? Like you got a little bit of
tattoo right after that.
Damn, we got the not guilty tag. Look at that.
I got that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because it was the United States government versus Raymond Scott. And
do you think him passing out like kind of helped you get a little sympathy? Because they fucked with your lawyer a little bit.
I think they seen this dude. I think my lawyer killed George Moore when they're like, wait, why would you wear a wire? What was all this for? Why are you trying to railroad me?
Right.
When basically you are the accountant, you're getting paid $150 and a car allowance.
Right. He's supposed to be doing it.
You're supposed to be doing it. They must have thought that. And I'll never forget, I'm downstairs in the middle of it's because it's 12 jurors. In the middle was this real short white lady with these big, thick glasses and like that Jersey Shore old school hairdo. And I was downstairs and they had, I guess.
Is it a Karen?
When they walked the jury out, she just leaned over and said, it looked like she was like, you stay out of trouble, and waved. And I was like, Like, I couldn't believe it. When they said
That's
not
crazy.
guilty, it was just because I didn't want nobody to come to court. So I was like, I'm going to jail.
You thought for sure you were gonna get guilty.
100%. But at the end of the day, though, even if you are found guilty, I still would have had 60 days. You just don't go to jail like
Right,
that.
right.
They still give you time. That's what one good thing about the feds. They just
Right.
like, okay, lock him up and he's gone. I still would have had time. And that's the only reason I didn't take that 3, because I knew I was going. I said, fuck it. I
So you had just had Coi.
because I want to spend time with my
Your kids, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
So what happened though? Why did you step down from Source Magazine? Like what?
I didn't step down. They took it. We
Who took it?
and I'm glad you asked the question, because I want to slowly I want people to really realize, because a lot of people say, well, Benzino ruined the Source. No, Benzino made the Source got it to where it was. And
Right.
we turned down $55 million from Bob Johnson. I'm gonna get back to that for a minute.
Damn.
The one who sold BP, but I'm gonna get back to that.
That's a lot of money.
In the 90s, the late 90s, Dave Mays, Steve Stout, who owns United Masters, and H. Edward Young came up with the idea of this Source.com. Now, this is before Apple. Apple wasn't around. This was only.
Was this before
This was
WorldStar.com?
way before that. None
Right.
of that shit. Nobody was around. Nobody
Nobody.
knew about it. Computers was big as boxes, like white boxes with a big box, and the only thing you could play is the fucking bloop 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 bloop, the little tennis thing.
Right.
It just came out,
Yeah, it was new.
so nobody really knew about it. But as we're going on, it's getting more and more popular and everything, and businesses are using it. So I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Dave and them, usually when me and Dave do things, or if there's a big deal, or if there's big things that we're doing, we meet with the people together. But a lot of times, if I know that I'm not with it, I don't want to fuck the energy up. So I just pull myself and won't be at the meeting and let Dave handle it. You know what I'm saying? So I just was like, I didn't believe in it. You know, their whole thing was we could do Source.com, and everything we're doing in the magazine, we can do with computers. Now, what they thought was what ended up happening, but they was just too early.
Right.
All the early .com companies crashed, most of them. All the ones that started because nobody had computers.
Right.
For sure, nobody had no damn smartphones.
Right.
But nobody even had computers.
Nobody had it.
So what they wanted to do was smart. So Dave takes out a $12 million loan from a small bank in Rhode Island. $12 million.
Damn, that's a big loan.
At like a 25% interest rate.
Damn.
We ended up owing the bank $30 million because they opened up a brand new office on Fifth Avenue. He says, "Come here, I want to show you something." He takes me over there. I go in there. There's like 40 people with big ass boxes on this shit. I'm like, "Oh shit, look at this shit. What the fuck is this?" Yeah, I'm like, "Wow, y'all really does it? Okay, great. Yeah, all right." You know what I'm saying? I didn't know enough, so I didn't want to judge. That's my man. I'm gonna trust him. It didn't work out. We ended up owing the bank $30 million.
Damn.
Bob Johnson was the first one. He flew us to.
And for the people that don't know, Bob Johnson's the founder of BET.
He had just sold it for $3 billion.
Wow.
And
what year was this when he sold it?
Man, I'm not good with
that was
years,
a minute ago.
But he flew us up there, and he said, "Look, I'm gonna write down what I'm gonna offer you, and I'm gonna leave the room, and you come back and tell me." So there was no negotiation.
And now this was to buy the whole.
This was just me and Dave in Bob's office in D.C. as he was leaving. He was getting ready to leave. He sold it. This was the last time in his office. So
and this offer was to buy the whole brand.
To buy the whole shit.
Okay.
He said, "I want to buy everything. That's it for y'all. Y'all go. Don't want, you know what I'm saying?" And we're like, "Okay." So he writes it on a piece of paper. So I open the paper. That motherfucker said $55 million.
Damn.
Right? So Dave's looking at me. He says, I remember Dave was like, "So what you want to do?" And I was like, I said, "Well, if we owe the bank 30, that's 25. Taxes is gonna take half. That's 12. We got to tie up some loose ends. We owe other shit. A couple of lawsuits. You know what I'm saying? Lawyers. So we'll probably walk away with $4 million apiece."
Right.
I'm like, "Is that enough for you?" We wanted 80.
Right.
If Bob would have said, "You and Dave can stay on, I'll give y'all a 5-year contract."
Right.
Because see, what people don't understand is me and Dave's crazy ass relationship that made the Source what it was perfect for the Source. Like, it's almost like if you have a car, and it's an amazing old school car, and it's worth a lot, but you know how to ride it.
Right.
Someone else will get in there and they don't know that you have to do this. That's
Right.
That's how we did it. It was very unorthodox, but our relationship and who we were, me out
knew
there in
how
the
to run it.
streets, him administrative. You know, my knowledge of hip hop goes back, like I said, from the beginning.
Right.
Dave's unmatchable when it comes to and taking notes down, and so he's administrative. I'm in the streets. You know, I'm fucking with all the heavy street niggas in every city. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, niggas is like, okay, you know, the respect is there because I'm a street nigga. I got 100 niggas with me, so they didn't know. They wanted the source. Let's get Dave and Ray out of there. They're the problem. They didn't. Once they got the source, so Black Enterprise buys the source. But we had to sell a piece of our. Dave didn't know that.
Wait, so you sold it?
We had to sell a piece of it.
Oh, a piece of it.
We
Okay.
bring in Black Enterprise. Black Enterprise is like, I don't know if you know Earl Graves. He's the guy with the big bush things. He has like sideburns, but he's a very prestigious guy that's been in the game, black man that's been in the publishing game forever, but one of the pioneers.
Right.
You know, salute to him. But his sons just, you know, they want to be me and Dave.
Right.
So their whole so Dave's meeting with these guys. He's like, yo, I want to, you know, these guys got to come in and buy a percentage. I'm like, man, I ain't fucking with them. I don't want to be with them. I was already upset
Right.
about the whole .com shit. Now I'm like, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but I knew we had to sell a percentage of it. So I'm like, damn, this is the first time me and Dave got to sell a percentage. And these guys is, you know, coming to the office with no socks on, with sandals on.
Right.
They were Ivy League guys. They were rich.
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
mama's boys.
Yeah.
But they wanted to be, you know, with the Source magazine. So I didn't like them.
Right.
And I didn't want to meet with them. So, you know, there was a little tension with us, but I respected it. And I'm like, Dave, you just do the deal and just let me know what it was.
Right.
So we ended up selling our percentage, and there's a board. So now it's just me and Dave on the board. There was 3 of them on the board. They voted us out.
Wow.
And that's how they took over the Source. But
So it was like a hostile takeover?
hostile takeover.
Wow. That's crazy.
You know your shit. And see, look, so it was like, you know, with me, I can go back to Boston and sell crack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying that and not trying to be funny or not trying to, but I'm saying that because I'm not. Dave is like, and I felt it because his mother, his dad, like.
But how does that work though? Like, how can they come on with the percent and vote you out? So they had 3
I'm
people
still
on the
trying
board
to figure
too.
it out, man.
I just don't understand how they can physically do that. That's
I mean
fucked up.
that was part of the thing. Like there was a board.
So
and
they had a plan. You think they
Dave
planned that
didn't
all
read
along?
Of course.
Wow.
Of course, and Dave didn't read the fine print. Like obviously, you know, because it was all legal. Now,
So do you wish you had took that 55 mil?
nah, see, I don't live with wishes and regrets and none of that. You can't. There's a couple, you know what I'm saying, not seeing my mother, you know, before she died, and you know what I mean, but stuff like that. Nah, man, like I'm not. Who the fuck knew I'd even make it to 58? Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, like that was a blessing. And listen, we owed the bank $30 million, so they had to pay the bank.
Oh, so
And
they had
had
that
to
debt.
assume the debt.
So it's just like if you had paid the bank
It was
30
a
million
wash.
anyway,
But-
yeah.
But now, mind you, they took it, kicked us out. Now, mind you, Ray and Dave fucked it up. As soon as they got it, 1 year later, they lost everything. They lost
Went
all
down.
they spent a lot of money.
They didn't know what they were doing. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
y'all
And
knew
they-
how to keep it going. It's like when you start, it's like your baby. You know how to work it. You know what to do. You got the streets. He got this. But when you had the Source and things were going good, did like you ever have issues like rappers and stuff try to press you, press up on you, like, yo, like you ain't give me the mics I need, or yo, put my ad, or like
I'm gonna
niggas
give
press you in the
exclusive.
streets?
I'm gonna give you an exclusive because you're dope. This
I
whole
appreciate
setup's
it.
dope. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my baby Ashley for even having me do this because I'm glad I'm doing it. But I'm gonna give you an exclusive.
Hey, can we drop a bomb?
I'm giving it. It's a big one too. So, you know, I'm from Boston. We started gangbanging in '83. I've lost well over 100 guys to murder. Big T, you know what I'm saying, in my group, you know what I mean? He got shot in the face with a shotgun. I seen that. My Rock in the group got cut open, guts pouring out on me holding him right before. Like, I've been through a lot of shit. I've seen a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, RIP to them.
You know, I'm just saying that just to paint the picture. Like, you know, I've been through a lot, you know,
Right.
in the streets, and nobody knows that side of me. Nobody, because I don't wear that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't wear that. I'm not the war story type
Right.
guy. But niggas knew in the industry, because I'd be deep and we'd be strapped up wherever we went, and niggas knew we got into a bunch of beefs and fights and crazy shit. After a while, niggas knew do not fuck with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was cool.
But the way you roll is like smooth. He's like a reformed gangster, like Ghost on like Power. You know what I'm saying? Like not to fuck with him,
That
but he
comes from my
carries
father.
himself in a way where
That
like
comes from my
he's
father.
humble and like graceful with it. You know what I'm saying? But
That's how the
like
mob
don't fuck.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how the mafia is.
Right,
And I
right,
got
right.
that from my dad. Like, but this one time, so Jay and Dame was complaining about a cover situation. And they came up to the source on some rah-rah shit. So, I had niggas strapped up in different rooms. They didn't know that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't know that. So they up there started getting loud, because we just wanted them to think that Dave was up there with just one person. And, sure enough, it starts getting loud. Niggas start coming out the rooms.
Right.
And, they had to get up out of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they come in deep?
There was a few of them. I think like 4 of them, 3, maybe 3, 4. I think
They were strapped up too,
You know
or
what I'm saying? I don't know.
they didn't
but,
pull nothing out.
You know what I'm saying? There was at least 7 of us. There was at least 7 guns up in the source office at that
Damn.
moment.
So Jay-Z and
tear
Damon
shit
Dash tried to press up on you.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
on Dave. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was a mystery. Nobody really knew what, like you said, I probably was like Ghost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you in a way, you got to be like, we from Boston. New York's a big city. And my father's from Brooklyn.
Right.
My grandfather from the Bronx. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, Boston's only 3 hours from there.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? If there's any issue, niggas is getting on that 95 and they coming. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah, so I wasn't on no bully shit. I wasn't on no
But I mean, like
troublemaker
Jay
shit.
and Dame, like they probably had a lot of goons too.
Dame,
Would that have been a battle
but
you wouldn't want to fight?
Dame-
You think
but
you've been scared
Dame-
or like?
But Dame get loud, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Dame, Jay wasn't necessarily, Jay don't get loud.
Right.
It was Dame, you know what I'm saying? And they started getting loud with Dave, and then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying? All right, enough is enough. That's it.
Right.
Y'all got to go. And, and there's nothing against Dame Dash, respect to Dame, but that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't press us for a cover.
Right.
Nobody pressed us.
So y'all
ever.
make that
in my
decision,
18
like-
in my 18 years, nobody has ever pressed us for anything. There was one time though when we first got the office on Broadway, a couple of Italian guys showed up, and I was in Boston. And Dave called me. It was like, yo, 2 big Italian guys showed up, and they said that they want to do our trash service. And I was like, all right, you gotta let them. He was like, no, you know what I'm saying? I said, we gotta let them because the trash is the mob in
Right.
New York. And we just now getting the office on Broadway. This is the early, this might have been like 90, 91 or something.
Right.
And 2 guys showed up. Like they show up in every other office in Lower Manhattan. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yeah, we're taking your trash out. And that's how they do their business.
Right.
That was a press. But hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? It was a service. We need to take our trash out anyways.
Right.
The whole Manhattan does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
But they control that. But that was the one time because my father, like I said, my father's heavy in the mob. So my father laughed and shit, and I was like, yeah. I said, that's cool. I said,
But you
yeah.
think people didn't know like who your father was? Like a lot of people.
In the beginning, no, but then towards a lot of rappers do. A lot of rappers know schnapps now. We call them schnapps, and everybody in Boston, but a lot of rappers when they meet them, because like there was a time, like I said, when I had it and all the millions, I was all over the place. I was doing features with everybody. It was just money everywhere for
Right.
everybody. You know what I'm saying? I took my whole crew, houses, cars. I mean, I was picking up strangers on tour and just giving them jobs and changing their lives. Like, I just,
And that's what they say. You ain't a boss until you put other people on, man. You done helped so many people in the game and put so many people on.
I have.
So, all right. So Jay and Dame, I know they pressed up on Dave, but like if they had pressed up on you, like would it have been a
Nobody was
different
pressing up on
situation?
the
Or
Z-Stick, bro. And it never happened. It never happened. Like,
you think it could have got ugly though?
I mean, immediately, if someone's pressing up on me, that's it. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's war. Like, I'm not out here pressing up on nobody.
Right.
So, the heavens will fall. You trying to press up on me. Like you trying to bully me. You trying to take something from me.
Right.
No, I'm the taker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up taking. Nobody takes from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do that. But at the same time, I give people respect. And I'm a businessman, and I understand business. And I understand respect. And I understand facial expressions.
Right.
I understand, you know, when women are around and how people are, there's a lot of,
You can pick up on that.
there's a lot of ways that you got to present yourselves just so that you diffuse beef just by facial expressions, or if you're getting so much
That's what they say,
attention.
like the best bodyguards, they know how to diffuse a situation before it gets crazy.
I've never had a bodyguard. Never.
You never rolled one?
Never. My whole life.
You don't think you needed
and if
one?
somebody ever seen me now? Hell no, never. I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here.
So I think people really didn't try you in the streets like that because like you had a lot of respect.
I mean, I've been tried in the streets because that's what the streets is. I'm not super nigga. I've been tried a bunch of times. Like I said, I've been shot 3 separate times. Like, of course I've been tried. But as far as pressing up on me, yo, you're gonna have to pay tax, or you're gonna have to, or you're gonna never. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got.
Do you have to check in like when you go to different cities?
Nah, I've never checked in.
You never checked in?
I don't even know what check-in is. What is check-in?
Because
like,
you know the young niggas like, yeah, when you
the
come to
fuck
our
is a
city, you gotta check in.
Check
And they
who?
like even the
Check
OGs
what?
gotta check in, or you might
man,
get
niggas
pressed.
gotta check in with me if I come in. Like I don't. Again, like I don't. I'm not. It's how you present yourself. I'm already cool with all the streets niggas.
Right.
I help feed the street niggas. When you do that, niggas respect you. It's not doing that out of fear or doing that. It's doing that because you respect the streets and you want to see niggas do good.
How you feel about this whole check-in culture, man? Because like I feel like in our culture, we're the only culture where artists gotta like check in when they come to different cities.
Listen, if you're an artist that ain't about the streets and you feel like you need some protection and you just to make it out of there, it's very smart to check in. It's very smart. I'm not checking in because I don't need that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My shit is, you know, liberty or death. You know, okay?
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Give me liberty or death. Like I'm not, but not everybody's thinking like I was raised like that. Not people ain't raised like my kids ain't raised like that.
Right.
My kid, like I kept that away from my kids. You're supposed to.
You're supposed to, yeah.
My kids look at me as something totally different. They don't know all the crazy shit that I done been through in the streets and everything.
Yeah.
Look, and I'm not saying that this isn't nothing to brag about. It's just that when you grow up in that, that becomes a regular thing. Beef is a regular fucking thing. Death is a regular thing. Being shot is a regular thing.
Right.
Being on the operating table is a regular thing. Emergency rooms are a regular thing. Court cases, trials are a regular thing.
Right.
This ain't nothing to be
That's
running
normal
from
stuff.
or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know the crazy thing about Source is like how you would rate people could actually determine if their project is going to be successful or not. You had power over projects, and I think that's one of the only magazines that's ever had that much influence and power on the people, because like people were checking to see how many mics you would give people to determine if they like the project or not. Like you were like their voice, you know what I'm saying? And I know that's why I was saying, I was wondering if people press up on you, because it's like they get mad. Like if you give them a low number of mics, that can make their whole album flop. Like everybody clown them if you get
Listen, and no disrespect to anybody, but nobody pressed up on me. I'm just being honest. Like I mean, we're in the time of stories. Somebody would have told you by now.
And I know, it was a big controversy about Eminem. You didn't give Eminem 5 mics, and I think you got upset about that, or what was that?
That was over. We was battling at the time, and it got disrespectful. So I felt like, the Source is my vehicle. Like if you disrespect, like, okay, if you own something, like this is your shit right here. If somebody comes up, if someone disrespects you, you're not going to have them as a guest.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
It's the same shit.
And I understood who he was in hip hop, and I understood his influence and everything, but the Source is mine.
Right.
This is my shit.
That's your shit.
So if
so we beefing, I'm not gonna give
why
you
the
5
fuck would I
mics.
give you 5 mics? Does that even make who's gonna do that?
Right.
Like what person on earth is gonna do that?
So all right. So I know you don't feel he should be considered the #1 rapper, but
I don't.
do you think he should be in the top 5?
Okay. Well, just even without Eminem, I don't believe in top 5s.
Okay.
I just believe that there's so many dope niggas and so many dope verses. How could you have a top 5? Like, we as black people got to stop making up top 5s and stop, competing. Like, just be glad that motherfuckers have dope catalogs and dope songs that you like. Like, you can't name a top 5. Like, there's so many songs in my life that I love from different artists and
many
verses.
artists, yeah,
how could
it's
I give them a
hard.
top 5?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We just better be glad that hip hop is putting food on our tables for our kids to eat.
Right.
And don't worry about competing in who's tops. It might be good for barbershop talk, but some people get too much into that. Eminem, you got to understand, Eminem raps in a way, in a style, and content that I just don't fuck with. There are black guys that rap like with that shit that I don't fuck with.
Right.
It has
Like
nothing to do
who?
with color.
Like the Like what, the Chance the Rapper kind of styles,
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean,
kind of
like
quirky kind of like what?
yeah. I don't like. There are Eminem songs that I dig,
Right.
that I like.
I
Not
like the slap that he did with Akon because that was a
there
good
were-
club
listen,
record. You
he
be
has
with your lady.
He has a bunch of
You know
songs.
what I mean? But that
Yeah.
was more like an Akon record.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
He's worked with the greatest producer of all time, Dr. Dre. How are you not? You can go in there with Dre and come up with some banging shit.
Right.
So
right.
look, at the end of the day, all I'm saying is his style, his content isn't the shit that I listen to. And it's just, it has nothing to do with him personally.
Right.
It's just not what I grew up in, where hip hop came from us.
Right.
From us. So I just dealt with us. Now, I'm not saying white people can't do hip hop.
So let me ask you this: if Eminem was black, do you think he would be as big as he is
He'd
today?
be Cannabis, and nobody would fuck with him.
Damn.
And no disrespect to Cannabis, because Cannabis is dope, but people ain't listening to that. Surely now these kids ain't listening to nothing that with all that
Right.
syllables and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's listening to that.
Right.
You had, that was a demographic. See, one thing, but the beautiful thing about hip hop, it has different demographics of people that listen to different styles and different. It's something for everyone.
Right.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of hip hop. So
Right.
let's embrace that. You know what I'm saying? And I respect the people that like him. The problem is his fans. They want to make him number one because he's white. That's a
Right.
fact.
So obviously you think he had an
the shit,
advantage because
like-
he was white.
If you're in America and you're white, you have an advantage.
Right.
Fuck hip hop.
You know, it's funny.
Just in life.
Recently I interviewed
Come
Justina
on.
Valentine. I don't know if you heard of her, but the rapper from Wild 'N Out, and she said a statement that went viral, and they were talking about it on Breakfast
What'd she
Club.
say?
She said that she feels she's discriminated against because she's a white woman.
She's right. She's right.
Because it's basically like,
No, she's right, 'cause this is
society accepts white male rappers.
And guess
but
what?
white female rappers,
Now she
society
knows how
ain't
we
really.
feel. Well,
yeah.
now she knows how a whole 46 million people feel.
Right.
Justina. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you know. So tell the rest of the people who are of your color how that feels. That
Right.
don't feel good, do it. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. And I'm not saying it's right, because I actually heard her freestyle, and she's cool, man. Like,
Yeah, she's a
nothing
dope
against her.
freestyler.
Shout out
She's
to
like-
Justina, but don't complain about being discriminated. Like, now you know how it feels, and you really don't know how it feels, because we went through way disgustingly worse and still are. And all
Right.
I'm saying is, listen,
I get discriminated against every day, man.
man, hip hop came
You
in
know
our
what I mean? I'll
lives.
try not to dwell on it, you know what I mean? But at the same
Hip-hop-
time, it happens.
Hip hop came in our lives where black people needed something.
Right.
And can you imagine where we would be without hip hop? Let's just take a minute to think about it. Can you imagine financially, culturally, where we would be without hip hop? We'd be fucked up.
Hip hop changed everything.
Man, listen, man, hip hop made it to where street niggas can make legal money.
Right.
And there's nothing more beautiful than that.
I recently interviewed Busta, and I asked Busta, did he think Eminem is one of the best rappers alive? And he said that he was one of them. And I asked
Busta
him,
would say that because he's like into the lyrical.
Yeah.
Busta is Busta is our Eminem that we fuck with. Like,
Right.
we'll go as far as the Busta shit with that, because Busta is super lyrical in the way his
you know about
styles
how his music video was. You know how he had did all the creative videos. And I asked him, I said, do you think that like you influenced Eminem? Because, Busta was doing them videos,
Of course
bro.
he probably did. I could
It's
see
a lot of similar type videos, those
Right.
funny ones and kind of.
Right.
And he said he fathered a lot of MC. He didn't say Eminem specifically, but it was after I
But he
asked him about
needs to.
Eminem.
See, Busta, people need to stop worrying about, when you say something about this guy. I feel like, people want to say shit, but
lot of
don't
people
want to say
scared.
shit because, like, yo, bro, that like them days is over. You know what I'm saying? And see, like I said, Busta is a legend, and congratulations to what he did on BET, getting the Lifetime. So Busta is where it's like a street nigga can listen to Busta with that type of rap and relate to it, whereas
Right.
that Eminem is relating to white people and how they live, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, Eminem's fans take it overboard, and they're the ones that put race in, because they want so bad for him to be number one, so they could say, see,
Right.
see, you motherfuckers, a white man's number one in y'all shit. That's it, and they know that. They know that.
So what do you? All right. So I want to know who gets Benzino's 5 mics in the game right now. Who would you give 5 mics to with the new guys?
Now, me personally, I'm not. I never like.
the Source 5 mic system was the biggest thing ever, you know, because we kind of got it from Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone was the first to do it, but they did it with rock music,
Right.
to rate things, and we kind of took that from them for hip hop.
Right.
The 5 mic system. Now, there's a couple of things that I personally, not business-wise,
Right.
not culturally, personally feel that there's 8 billion people in the world, and us as individuals should be able to choose the type of music we want.
Right.
I feel that everybody has to, I think that everybody wants to look at somebody else's to hop on a bandwagon and just like something because they like it. What makes you an individual, what makes you different from everybody in the world, is your power of choice of what you like.
Right.
Like,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
What I think is 5 mics, you might not.
Right.
So I never necessarily, not say believed in it, but I let them do their thing with the 5 mics. I never got involved.
So you didn't decide?
I never got involved with not one 5, other than the
you
Eminem
serious?
controversial thing. And there was another of those situations that happened with Jeezy and Little Brother.
Right.
And a situation with Andre 3000. So those are the
Did
only
Andre
ones.
3000 get 5? Or what did he get?
I actually took away a mic.
Oh, so he got, what did he get?
That
4?
was the only thing, because I actually like a half a mic actually. And I apologize for that. No. I had apologized on my man Ray's show, Ray Daniels, and because I was blinded and I shouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying?
So why did you take a half a mic away?
Because I didn't like when they was doing it. I don't know how it got to my attention, but I just was like, that album's not for mics. It was brand new. It was brand new to hip hop, and I didn't give it a chance to really understand the greatness of it. And a lot of people on the East Coast, when Outkast first came out, they didn't understand.
Yeah, because they were so different, and like the style was so different. It was like, what is this? You know, this is new.
And that's how I felt. And, but I shouldn't have done that. And
you know, that's how it be though. Sometimes it's only natural, man.
I shouldn't have did it. It was
I
wrong.
remember when I first heard Drake. There was a producer named Pillsbury up in Canada, and I was driving down from Canada to Atlanta, and he was working with Drake. And he put the song on. This was before Drake popped off, and he put on some music like, yo, check out this new artist. He's about to blow. And I heard the music, and I was like, yo, it's all right.
Bro.
You know what I mean? And then he introduced me to Drake with California Pizza Kitchen, actually at Atlantic Station.
Okay.
Is that still there?
Yes.
Yeah,
of course.
and I dapped him up, man. He was a cool guy, but I just didn't think it was a pop. A few months later, he blew up. I'm like, yo, that's the guy. It's
I'm gonna give you
like
the same
you never
situation.
know.
My son Ray. Yo, Dre, he's that next guy. I'm like, no, he ain't. I said, matter of fact, listen to this. I let him hear OJ the Juice Man.
Right.
I was like, OJ shit's hot, man. He's
Right.
like, no, Dad, trust me. Listen.
I love
was
OJ the
like-
Juice Man.
I was like, next thing you know, the same thing. He blew up, and Ray always say, look, Dad. I was like, you was right. You was right.
Do you think Drake is the best rapper alive now?
I don't get into the best rapper alive. I just don't do it. Like, there's too many rappers. Anybody who gets into best rapper lives are weird to me. They're just, and no disrespect. There are too many fucking rappers, man. There's
too many.
There's too much dope music. Like, how can somebody be the best rapper or singer alive?
There's some rappers we ain't even heard yet. Like,
but look at hit records.
okay,
Like,
but out right now on the charts, do you think Drake is the hottest? Or
I mean, this is who I like. I mean, I'm listening to a whole bunch. I like Drake. I like Future. I like 21. I can go on. I love Coi Leray. Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. I can go on. They all got good shit out there. They don't make whack shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not riding around banging they shit in my spare time. I probably listen to old school music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or old school NWA, niggas with attitude. Or
Right.
you know what I'm
so
saying?
you don't really ride out to Drake.
I've never rode out to Drake.
Mm.
But every fucking car I've been in, rode and just playing Drake regardless.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear
It's
Drake.
gonna get played,
You're
yeah.
gonna hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Every radio station, you change the station, it's another Drake.
and
This
if you're
station,
getting in with a
Drake.
chick and she you're gonna hear Drake.
Yeah, Drake.
If you go to the club, you're gonna hear Drake. So I don't got it. Everybody's riding out to Drake. That's how big he is.
All right, so let's switch it up then. Who are your favorite female rappers in the game? I won't say top
Coi Leray,
five.
Coi Leray, Coi Leray, Coi Leray, Coi Leray, Coi Leray.
Hey, shout out to Coi Leray. And for the people that don't know, that's been hiding under the rock, Coi Leray is actually Benzino's daughter. Very talented. I gotta ask you, man. Speaking of Coi Leray, did you know she was destined to be one of the greatest female rappers?
She told me she was. I can't front. I can't lie. I didn't know. You know,
At first, could you see it though? Like just
nah,
being
man,
her
Coi-
daughter,
Coi-
you know,
because I'm not trying to see, like, I see what hip hop is, so I'm not trying to look at my daughter cursing and
right.
getting involved with hip hop. I'm looking at her like college.
Right, like just go to
Like, yo,
school.
like, okay,
I don't
got
want you in
three
his
sons.
life.
Ray Ray, you can rap, and you know, and I was wrong. I was wrong, my love. I was wrong, Coi, because I'm looking at, as in retrospect, Ray Ray's rapping, and I don't have a problem with Ray Ray rapping and cursing and everything, and he's only a couple years older than Coi. But I'm looking at her as, I want you in college. I'm
School,
looking,
yeah.
I'm just
Did you want to protect her? Like, did you not want her in the game?
exactly. I just,
Because you know how dirty this game is. You
this
know what I'm
game
saying?
is, these streets are, this world is, and she's my only baby. She's come on. I got 3 sons and I got a daughter, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a street nigga.
Right.
So I'm in the streets making money. Coy's mom's never had to work because I'm out there hustling, getting money. Coy's mom's, you know what I'm saying? Like we both come from the streets.
Right.
Her family and my family. You understand what I'm saying? So any father out there that's in the streets understand you can't necessarily be the type of father you want to be time-wise with your kids because you're dealing with so much out here in the streets.
Right.
You really have no organization in your life. Being a street nigga, there's no organization. You know, so if you work in a job, there's an organization. Okay, I get off at 6. I can go get with the kids from 6 to 5. I mean, 6 to 8. Then I can. There's none of that shit. It's like I got to get out here in the streets. You know, so I got to make this money. I'm on the block selling drugs, hand to hand. You know what I'm saying? I'm making moves. I might have to fly out of town to go get some shit. I might have to boom down beefing with niggas. I don't want to bring that to the crib because, you know what I'm saying? I can't be around my kids because
You
I'm
got
fucking
kids at
shooting
the
out with
crib,
niggas.
yeah.
They can't be in my car. Like, you don't understand what that is. Like, it's a different flex, a street nigga trying to be a father. And, you know, I can't expect her to understand that. I understand her frustration as she
Right.
got older, but
So did you not like really kind of back her music or support her music at first
I
because you
didn't-
didn't really want her to do it?
again, like, you know, I'm old school. I'm 58, just
Right.
turned it. I'm old school. I come under my father's values that he taught me, my grandfather, grandmother, and their values. And even though I broke the values by going in the streets, I just didn't want that for my kids.
Right.
And I shunned them. None of my kids got felonies.
Right.
You know, none of them got felonies.
That's an accomplishment in itself.
I got a 29, Coy's 26, Taj is 20, and then Zeno is 7, of course, Zeno, but none of my kids got felonies, and I'm proud of that.
You should be, man. Round of applause to Benzino,
saying?
man. Amazing father.
You know, I didn't, you know, they was around the studio their whole entire life. Their
Right.
whole entire life, they was in the studio. I'm talking.
So when they was little, they would be in the studio with you?
I had studios in every crib. I had studios. Then I went and built studios where, you know, big studios. And their whole entire life, Coi and them. So me and her mom had broke up when she was about 9. And after that, every year after that, she's with me 4 or 5 months out the year because I'm flying her to me, whether it be Miami. I moved down here for like 8 years.
Right.
She came and stayed with me down here for a long period of time.
Wow.
She filmed a movie down here that goes on BET called Magic City.
Wow.
Yep, I got her in a movie down here. My man Vince Herbert, we had hooked her up with Mindless Behavior.
How old was she at that time?
Maybe 12, 11, 12, you know, 11, maybe 12, like, you know what I'm saying?
So when did she tell you, like, yo, Dad, I want to be a rapper. I want to take this
we was
serious.
playing with it back then, but it was like, it was kiddie rap. It wasn't, you know.
Right.
So I didn't think of her rapping like that. I'm just like, okay,
Right.
let me get her thing, let her rap. I'm thinking maybe there's an audience for like the kiddie rap.
Right.
Because kiddie rap back then
Like
was.
Lil Romeo, Lil Bow Wow,
Yeah,
kind
man,
of
like,
female version of that.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm all right. Because Ray Ray, her older brother, already got a deal on Interscope. Her older brother that I have with another woman.
And you got him that deal?
When he was 9 years old. $700,000. Jimmy Iovine signed him personally. The Eminem beef, they gave us half the money. It was Big Punish's son, rest in peace, Chris, Ray Ray, and a kid named Lil James, and Vince Herbert. We got them a deal on Interscope
Right.
for like $800,000. They gave us half the money. I gave it all to my baby's mother, Liza, who's Pun's my baby mother, and James's baby's mother and father. And we ended up losing. Benny Boom directed the first video. I mean, they was big. They was like 9 years old when they got the deal.
So you was friends with Big Pun. Y'all worked together a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I did a song with Pun. A couple of times we interacted before he died, like at the studio. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? It was really with his kids because, Ray Ray, we did a song and I invited them to come be in the video. Like so, like my kids went on like Ray Ray went on tour with me. So Ray Ray been involved. He's still right now killing them under the name Chavo, Chavo. He's with Pierre Bourne. They just killed the whole tour, you know, sold out tour and shit. Like thousands of white kids screaming for his song Michigan. Like
That's lit.
like my kids been around this.
They've
all
been
their
around
life.
everything. So okay, so backtrack. So you got Coi in the movie. You know, she was doing the music. You know what I mean? It was more like kiddie rap. At what point did she switch her like image to like, all right, I'm doing some grown folk music now?
Once they hit that 15 years old, now Coi's out. You know, she's up there in Jersey. I'm not. So you know, when Dad's around, I'm strict. So she couldn't maneuver probably stuff that she could with her moms.
Right.
So up
Because
there,
you'll shut it down like, nope, that's not
yeah,
going.
man. So kids actually, you know, when it comes to parents, because I was like that. Like, man, mom, you know, my father was more lackadaisical to the point where he was like, let's go, get your ass in the streets, where my mom wasn't with that shit at all.
Right.
So it's like, even though you love your mom, you're more mad at your mom because your father's letting you do the... you
Right,
know.
right.
So that's kind of how it was with us. It's like, you know, shit, like, I was more strict.
You were the protector.
I was more strict. And when she came and lived with me in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? It was like, look, I'll get you whatever you want. And I got her whatever she wanted. She never needed anything. But once she hit 15, I think that's when, you know, the weed smoke and hanging out. And it probably was 14. And then I just found
And
out.
she moved out at 16, right?
Yes, yep. And listen, I was so impressed with Coi at a young age. She worked this job and she had a roommate, nice spot, on her own, making good money at that young. I was so impressed with her.
But were you cool with her like moving out at 16, or you was cool with it, or you didn't like it?
First of all, I didn't know it. When I got to Jersey, I ended up staying with her, and I seen how she was doing, and I was so proud.
Right.
She was going to work. Like, I just was so proud how mature she was. Like, God damn, like, I was like, this is dope, you know, because
Right.
she pulled herself and did that on her own. Like, okay, I'm gonna work for this company. It was like a telemarketing company.
Right.
And she was making real good money. You
At
know
a
what I'm
young
saying?
age, yeah.
At a young, like, but just
Making
the,
money like adults.
but just the discipline.
Right.
That's, as a parent, you're more happy with the discipline.
Yeah.
So, but she always said, she was like, you know, then it was like she wanted to rap. She said, hey, Dad, I'm gonna start rapping. She's like, you watch. And she said this, and it might sound corny, but she said it. She was like, watch, I'm gonna be bigger. I'm gonna be bigger than you. I'm gonna be the best thing. You watch.
When she say that, at 17, 16?
It was around that, maybe right around that age, like maybe 5 years ago. So maybe 20, maybe 19. You know, like, I'm not good. Like,
And when did she get the deal?
I gave her two cameras. I wasn't using Canon. Her and her girl, and I forgot her name. She's gonna kill me, but she started from day one. It was like a camera. She's still with her now, and she was shooting video. She was a videographer, photographer. So
Right.
Coi would go do her own shit. Coi would do all his shit, and then D'Anthony, who comes from Boston, also because Coi was born in Boston, had been working with Fetty Wap because his mother was Cherry Martinez. She was on New York radio and stuff.
Free
And,
Fetty.
So he helped do her son. They were around the same age. Helped blow up Fetty Wap, and D'Anthony's mother and Coi's mother were best friends in Boston.
Right.
And you know they end up hooking up, and next thing you know, they're doing shows and they're doing all kinds of shit. And it's like,
And this was, she was about 17, 18 at this point, or what?
her mother told me that she had her first show. It was at a strip club, and the mother got all the friends because the mother used to bartend in Hackensack. So people knew Asia. You know, she was popular. So they all went and seen her. Then from there, she was off and running. Now with me, I'm listening to the music, and the music is vulgar, and it's like,
You like, yo, this is my daughter rapping this right now? What happened to the kitty rapping? Like, she's doing some grown shit.
you know, and I want to be careful because me and her are such a great place.
Right, absolutely.
I understand now, you know, but I want people to understand me.
Yeah.
I'm an older school father.
You're a father looking at your daughter at this
Right,
point.
I'm not, maybe these new young guys, fathers type of guys, maybe, I don't know. But it's a different mindset. It's not just for my mind, it's for my heart.
Right.
And it's for my spirit. I don't try to be this way because I want to make somebody mad.
It's a place of love.
It's just, man, I love you. And it's like, I just didn't, so it took time. You know, it's hard, you know, because, you know what I'm saying, she, with the twerking and
Right.
the no clothes and everything. But shit, I'm on my Instagram with shirt off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to like, you know what? I had to like, listen, she's grown. I just got to take it for what it is. And I'm a lot more understanding now because I had to check myself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So were you like instrumental in her career?
you know, when your kids come out your nuts, you introduce it in their life. You're instrumental in their journey.
Absolutely,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
You made her. You
Everything
created her.
she's gonna
You
do
raised
comes out of me and through her mother. So anything she's doing is gonna be. She dances her ass off. Her mother used to be killing dancing. I've rapped my entire whole life. You know what I'm saying? She is a perfect combination of us, but she has my tenacity. Like, she's seen me in action. She sees me in my business mode. She sees me lead.
She grew up with it,
I'm a leader. I'm a boss. She's seen
Right.
that her whole life. You know, I seen her do an interview and she was saying, like, my tone. You know, I never put my hands on her, but my tone was always in because that's how you gotta be.
Right.
You can't play around with it, because if you do, something could happen.
Right. And I know you recently watched Coi Leray on the stage for the first time. I think that was Rolling Loud, right?
Still got the thing on.
Oh, you still got the band. Hey,
band
so
on.
this was your first time ever seeing her perform?
First time seeing her perform like that. And
That's crazy.
I mean, I've seen stuff on the internet, but live, yeah.
So what was that like?
I mean, you know, it was different because, like, my whole life been wrapped around hip hop, and to see thousands of people going crazy over her, it just was like, it was surreal. And you know, people see us arguing on the internet, and well, it ain't nothing that I'm proud of. So I just hope that was closure. You understand what I'm saying? Because you know, that's like a hard time for me to be going through this. I don't care what anybody else thinks. That's my daughter. I raised her. There's no absent because I'm a street nigga. I had to go get money. When you're in the street, it's the same thing. Everybody, all these guys in the industry know. There's no time. You getting money. In the streets, it's the same thing. And it was hard for me, you know what I'm saying, to be looked upon as like, I've been caught all kind of shit, but I don't give a fuck about that because it's not. But a deadbeat dad, come on, man. I love my daughter. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be known as that. Like, I don't care what people think, but that hurt me. So when I was up there, I just was like, man, I want it to be closure. Because you know, I went through a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. You know what I'm saying?
I know that was hard for you.
I mean, and I'm not no victim or nothing. It's a lot built up. You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't, I didn't, Lord knows I ain't trying to come here. I didn't cried enough on TV, man. But this shit is fucked up because, you know, you gotta live with this shit. Niggas don't understand what it's like and what I've been through and what I've seen. And, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't mean no harm. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I made mistakes. But I'm not no person that wants to bring, you know, I don't want to bring harm for, like, when people say I hate on Coi's career and I'm jealous and all this, that shit is like, man, like, it's evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Because my love is huge for that little girl, man. That's my little girl, man. She's a woman.
Hey, man, round of applause for Benzino, man. He's such a good father, man. I'm so proud of you. You know, and man,
Please.
can we get him some tissue, please, out the back?
Man.
Get him the
Cut
paper
for a
towels
minute.
over here.
For a minute. Yeah, that's. Oh, my bad, bro.
Nah, man, it's all good, man. It's like listening to your story, man. Like, I look up to you so much because, like, I never had a father in my life, you know, and I always wish I had a dad. Like, I met my dad like twice, you know what I mean? He didn't believe I was his son. He made me, like, take the test, and then when he found out I was his son, he actually was disappointed, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I never had a father. So to see you being such a strong man that's been through it all, you done made it out. You know, you're in the top 1% of the world. You actually accomplished what everyone in the hood wants to do. You've seen it all. You've done it all. And for you to have, you know, beautiful children and raise them into even being superstars like yourself is so huge, man. And I commend you for being such a great person and a great father.
You know, like I That's it, man. Believe me, I didn't even know I'd make it to 30. Never mind 58. So now that I'm here,
You're not supposed to be here right
I
now,
want,
are you?
now that I'm here, I want to, I want to do right.
Right.
I want to, right my wrongs, and I want to move forward, man. I want to enjoy the rest of these days, man. Like, life is so short, man, with
It
COVID and
is.
how people, I don't, what I'm saying, like beef. I don't want to be beefing.
How do you want to be remembered when you leave from here?
As a good guy, I don't want to be remembered for some of this negative shit that's out here. You know what I'm saying? You want to. Everybody should want to be remembered to be as a good person. You shouldn't want to be remembered any other way. But also somebody that cared about people, somebody that contributed a lot to hip hop. It's sad because me and Dave, we haven't spoken in years. We went our separate ways after all them years, but all these 50 years celebrations and everything, and like nobody's bringing up the source, and how.
And you open the doors too for XXL magazine and all these other magazines.
XXL's a lot of these guys.
Like, the freshman of the year, all of that originated with Source, man. All of that, this new stuff is like, you guys originated that. And I want to get into that too, because I got a couple questions, but I want to know, man. So do you think like you watching Coi, like, I feel like that meant a lot to her, like seeing you there, like that probably meant a lot to her.
Yeah, it did, because and it's funny because I could see her. She would glance over at me, and she would kill it harder. Like she, like if that
she was showing off for you. She wanted to make Dad proud.
If that was like an Olympic event, that was like her all tens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like she made sure, and people were like in awe. Like
so how did it come about though? Like, how did you guys make up? How did you end up there?
Me and her mom got super cool in these last few months first. Her mom's married. I plan on marrying my girl. You know what I'm saying? We're happy, but we was apart. You know what I'm saying? And we've got such a great space now. Like we are really friends now.
That's good, man. Round of applause.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Man. I love that.
Big, and I want to thank Asia for that, because I probably never had that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you grow up, you don't look at female as friends.
Right.
Having friends. But it's so good now. You know what I'm saying? Like we're on a really great page.
So you think your relationship changed for the good?
Hell yeah.
Better than before?
Oh,
sometimes you go through bad stuff and then y'all get even stronger and closer. Because like if y'all can go through that and test the trials, even relationships, sometimes it bring you closer after that. You know what I'm saying?
You got to admit your wrongs, man. You got to see, you got to put yourself in people's shoes, man. I don't know, because I'm getting older, but I do that more now. And, I look at myself in the mirror and I want to be proud of who I look at, even if I'm wrong. I want to be able to look at myself, and you got to admit when you're wrong, man.
Do you feel Coi owes you an apology?
I mean, listen, man, I just, apology, I got thick skin, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of them people, like, let's just forget it, move forward. You know what I'm saying? It didn't even happen. It's gone, it's gone, it's gone. I think we as a people have to learn how to stop dwelling on bad things in the past. And even, just, you can reflect, but you got to really worry about right now and tomorrow, not even past tomorrow, just here in 24 hours, because,
that's all you got is right now.
That's all you got.
You don't have the future, you don't have the past. Right now, and this is what's guaranteed.
So why make that a bunch of unnecessary emotional stress for yourself?
Right.
Just a thought process. This is all. When you dwell on the past, it's a thought process. It's not even happening. Right. When you find yourself drifting away or looking down, or like you're making up a picture in your head that doesn't exist, it's gone. Right. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
was it hard though not speaking to her during that period?
Of course. This whole thing was one of the worst things I've been through in my life. I've been through hell. I got a whole past to hell. You know what I'm saying? One of them passes. Lifetime passes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want
speaking to you and everything.
I don't want, like, who would want to argue with their daughter and then seeing their daughter listening to her on the radio wherever you go and seeing her, everywhere. Like, come on. It's just a weird situation, like having somebody that you raised and somebody that you love dearly, and not being able to communicate with her and seeing her like that.
Did you try to reach out while y'all weren't talking, or like you just gave her that space?
I get my stubborn ways, you know what I mean? I get my ways, man, and, she's me. Asia calls her Benzino. Right. And I said, nah, that's Asia Jr.
So what's your relationship like now with her mom?
Really good. That's what I was saying. That's what I was talking about. That's what I was saying. It's amazing. And You know, she loves that, of course, but it's really good. We talk all the time, and we should because, you know what I'm saying? Like in this industry, regardless of what she went through, if anything ever happened to her, she knows. She
Right.
know who to call. Look, the great thing about me, I've already put in the work where when Coi goes around the country, there's guys who be like, man, your dad, and they'll look out for her. Oh, no. Make no
Right.
mistake
It's
about
a
it.
different level of respect
No,
when you
make no
have a
mistake about
father
it. She
like
gets to go
such a
around, and they
high.
know she wherever from Harlem to Compton to this to Detroit to Houston to whatever.
Because
It
you'll
is,
check someone
you
if
know
you
what I'm
have to
saying?
over her. I know you will.
I'll
Someone
kill
don't do
someone
right.
over.
Yeah.
Check.
And people know that. It's a different level of
I can go
respect.
sit down. At 58, I can go sit down.
Right.
I can go sit down. Yeah. You know what I'm
So
saying?
what's your relationship status now, man? Like,
Oh, I'm with the love of my life. I've been with her for 3 years. Her name is Ashley. Yeah, it's my baby. You know, these last few years have been, a little, you know, I look back at my life and I look at my run from the streets because I had a hell of a run. Like I fucked with, like my run was hell. I was fucking with some of the top Jamaicans, the Shower Posse, rolling with them, getting money with them. My father with the top and Julos, the Patriarchas. These are top mob
Right.
guys, and so I was getting real money. Then I went to the Source. We started getting money. Then loving hip hop, and then now my daughter Coi. So my story is. So these last few years, I think God had to sit me down, humble me up some, and just see what it's like to, not be financially set. And I've had to get back in the streets, get back in the hustle mode, which I don't mind. And I'm always reinventing. I'm always making things happen, like I did with after the Source. It was Hip Hop Weekly. I mean, I've always.
oh yeah, shout out to Hip
Yeah,
Hop Weekly.
yeah. I made that down here. When we lost the Source, not a week later, I came down here.
So you created Hip Hop Weekly magazine?
My man War Hussein, my guy. I never met him. He flew to Brooklyn. He came, stayed with me. We had a house in Hollywood, little house, and I had a pool though. I was happy. This was after we lost the Source, and I had a few dollars left. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we ended up fucking making hip hop because I used to always get the National Enquirer in the magazines, Us Weekly. And I
Right.
was like, yo. So we don't got the Source no more, but maybe as time's going on now, that people don't want to, because now the internet is booming now.
Right.
So time's going on, and it's like people attention spans are shorter. They don't want that long reading.
All
shit.
this short form content now.
Source would have
yeah.
12-page articles.
Right.
stories. Now they just want to read a paragraph.
Paragraph.
if that.
Yeah.
So I came.
It's like
I said, let's come up with columns like the Source. Let's kind of make it like the Source, the way it looks, but then still do it. You know what I'm saying? In different form of smaller reading, of smaller type articles.
Right.
It was a hit. It wasn't a hit like the Source, but it paid our bills.
Right.
I still was living good down here. Nice. Still was 750 whip. I had some just still, you know what I mean?
I had an interview in Hip Hop Weekly magazine. They interviewed me and Source too. They covered one of our episodes. I think it was a fake Drake. Challenges Drake to $1 million boxing match. That was
my babies.
Yeah.
Source and Hip Hop Weekly are my babies.
And it's so funny to be with the legend that created it.
Oh,
It's
nah,
like
man, listen,
real,
man,
man.
listen.
I never thought I would be interviewing the legend. Right
Listen,
here.
man, like the legend thing, like I appreciate it. People say that, but to me, legends are people that really put their heads on the line and sacrifices themselves, like a Martin and a Malcolm. I'm a street guy, and if anything, when you look at me, other street guy, I want other street guys who don't, have a college education and having trouble in high school, or this, to look at me and just understand, like, look, the shit that he done been through, you know what I'm saying? He fought for us. He cared about us. That means a lot to me.
You're an example, man. So many people made it out. So let me ask you, what advice would you give to someone who wants to be a rap star or someone who just wants to be successful being an entrepreneur, you owning one of the biggest brands in hip hop? Like, what advice would you give to them?
I mean, you got to have, these are things that you have to have. And if you don't have them, you got to try to work these in your daily regimen. You got to have discipline, patience. You got to be resilient. And by resilient means people are going to like turn you down, talk about you, shit on you, make fun of you. These are things to put blocks in front of you so they don't have to deal with competing with you.
Right.
You got to understand when somebody else they're trying to deter you from your destiny so they don't have to compete with you.
Right.
You got to be able to block that out, have uber confidence in yourself to know that whatever your vision is, you're going to see it through no matter what it takes. Like I've had millions of dollars and I've slept on benches in the golf course.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
But you were still the same person.
I'm still the same nigga.
And that's what I tell people, whether I got $1 in my pocket or 50 million in my pocket, I'm still the same person, because you got to have that $1 million mentality, that $1 billion mentality.
And you got to realize where you come from.
Right.
The beauty of coming from nothing is that gambling is easier. You know, you can take risks, jump out there, and don't be scared of failure. Don't be. A lot of people are scared to fail. A lot of people in our culture, we suffer from. We don't want to be wrong. If we do, people feel like you're embarrassed, so therefore you won't get the knowledge to right your wrong. As long as if somebody exposes you to being wrong, it's not an expose. It's just let me give you the right thing so you don't fall down that hill again.
Right.
You know, but people get so embarrassed when they're wrong, and they push it away, and they're never getting the knowledge to right it. So they continue being wrong. Being wrong is a great thing, but you got to get the knowledge.
Right.
That's what makes it great, because now you know. Being wrong is cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's only cool if you get the knowledge to right it. And that's just how it is, man. Like, you know.
He dropping gems. Round of applause of Benzino dropping gems. So how do you deal with like haters? What advice would you give someone about haters? What's your views on haters?
If they're not in your peripheral, in your space, they don't exist. The internet world, people better understand this now. If you are on this internet for more than 8-9 hours a day and you're not making money from it, you are wasting your time and your life clock. There's a life clock. We have a life clock. You know what I'm saying? I know we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years and you go around the sun, but there's a life clock.
Isn't it weird too, man? Like one day, everyone in this room, everyone watching this, one day we won't be here. It's sad when you think about it. I know we'll be in a better place, but it's sad.
Why waste all your time in here all day, all night, looking at other people? Now, if you're doing shit for yourself,
this shit is toxic too on these timelines. It's so toxic.
Listen.
And we ingesting all that all day. It's so toxic.
Listen,
and it's addictive.
You got to go out. You got to be out here. See, I'm out here. I'm out here, nigga. Like, you got to understand that.
You ever leave your phone at home and just?
I don't do that because
it's so hard
because of business. I mean, this is business money.
Right.
It's different. If you getting money, that's what you're supposed to use it for.
That's the money.
Money. You're not, this shouldn't be leisure all day. This shouldn't be gossip all day. This shouldn't be looking at fucking crazy shit all day. It should be getting knowledge and truth knowledge, not bullshit, because you don't know what's on here.
Right.
Do your research. I'm just saying, the more time you spend on this, the less time you're out here.
Right.
And you need to be out here.
Right.
God made out here for us to be out there.
Right.
Like this right here.
Get in nature too, man.
This is desocial. They call it social media. It's desocial media.
Right.
It's desocializing people.
It is.
This was made for people who never came out the house anyway.
Right.
They was cool with that because they had anxiety when they came out. Oh my God, we come out the house at a young age and we go through hell and we have our fun and everything was out there.
And a lot of it is a facade too, man. People look so happy on Instagram.
Most of it is.
And they could be like crying their heart out every night. They could be depressed, but on the page, they post themselves being so happy, and you would never really know what someone is going through.
You know, when you go through the desert and they have that mirage thing, what happens is you've been in the desert so long, and you see them, you start. That's what's going to happen here. It's a mirage, and you stop believing shit.
Yeah.
Like this new alien thing now. Like just picture that. Just yesterday, this whole thing with aliens. Like I'm a nigga that if I don't see it, you're lying. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck.
You know,
what
it's
you
funny.
say.
It's funny you mentioned that too. For the people that don't know, whistleblower David Grunstrick says the U.S. government has non-human bodies from UFOs. Do you believe that?
Man, listen, man. If they had non-human bodies from UFOs, man, it's probably just. If they did that, you really don't think that like it would have been out by now? And if it is, by them saying that, they would be at that place today. Like as soon as he said that. The whole world right now, nobody's believing that.
It's like no one really. It's like people don't care. So, do you think aliens are real? Do you think they exist?
I don't know.
Like, you know what's so weird? You know what's so weird, Benzino? It's so funny you mentioned that. This was in my notes to ask you about this. Look, this is in the notes to you.
because Ashley hit
This
me
was the
yesterday.
only news story I was
Listen,
going to ask him
listen.
about, and he mentioned it first.
Listen,
see how we just aligned? Like, that's so weird.
Ashley hit me
this
yesterday.
was right
babe,
here.
Babe, they got him. They got him. What's the matter? You all right, babe? They got him. They got the dude. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm going on there and shit. I'm like, I don't see nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where are they?
Right.
And then I see the congressional hearings with these 3 guys, and they're saying, yeah, we see him, but we can't tell you now, but we can tell you privately. Well, 24 hours went since they did that shit. Where the fuck are these bodies at?
Right.
Where these little
Well, it's a lot of
frogmen at? You know
it's
what
a
I'm
lot
saying?
of different conspiracy theories. I don't know if you believe in aliens or if you believe in this, but some people say that aliens are actually like fallen angels and they're on other planets waiting to come over and take over Earth. Like, it's so many theories about aliens. Like,
Man, I just hope they have some good ass weed when they come.
hey man, shout out to
be
that.
out with me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let's see. I would be curious to see what they ate. Like, what's their dinner? Like, how do they cook? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like they're gonna eat some of your food. For the people that don't know,
They come to the
Benzino
crab
got that
trap.
new. What you got the new restaurant
Benzino's
coming out?
Crab Trap be opening up in a matter of like weeks, finally. And
Where?
It's gonna be in Chamblee, Georgia, right on Peachtree,
Hey.
5071 Peachtree Boulevard. It's a full restaurant. It's gonna be the biggest one I've had. People that are familiar with Benzino's Crab Trap absolutely loved my food. I was the first one to introduce the crabs in a bag in Atlanta.
Wow.
And Candy even said that I was probably one of the first ones to do the whole celebrity restaurant thing.
Wow.
Like,
Round of applause to that.
Candy told me
And
that.
I actually went to the grand opening of your first crab shack. You opened Trap. And that was about 5-6 years ago.
You came to the
I was at
opening,
the grand
like,
opening. I
jump
remember
rope.
that, and man,
appreciate that.
it was so good. Like, it's so crazy. So when
All
did,
my recipes.
wow,
Yeah.
I got to come to the grand opening of your new
got
one.
to. I'm gonna let
What
you
you think about? What's it? Lil Baby just opened a restaurant in Atlanta.
Crabs are big money. Shout out to Lil
You
Baby.
think your food gonna taste better than his?
Yeah. No question. But shout out to Lil Baby.
Yeah,
His
shout out
tour
Lil Baby.
shouted out. His tour just started, and he's one of the artists, the younger artists that I definitely think is dope as fuck.
Yeah, he killed the game. Now, Benzino, when I told people that you were coming on the show, we actually have some fan questions that we
Okay,
want to
let's
ask
go.
you.
I want to answer them all. I thought there was gonna be. Ashley said it was gonna be like 7 girls up here. I
Oh
was like-
yeah.
she
I
said,
was
"Babe,
like, yo,
they
should
ain't
we
here."
bring the
Like,
girls? I'm like, we're gonna do an exclusive, man. But
Where
hey,
are
if you
they?
want me to bring the girls next time, I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring Ashley.
All right, bet.
Yeah,
Let's
hell
do
yeah.
it.
Bring my baby.
All right. So, fan question number 1: what's the favorite celebrity you ever met?
The famous celebrity I've ever met. That's a good one.
Your favorite one? Because I heard you met
Well-
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Then that would have to be the one. Then. Yeah, I spent 2 weeks with Mike.
What?
I was on the phone with him 45 minutes in a different situation. He ended up wearing my 3-piece for like a week and a half. Like, me and Mike have a little history. You know what I'm saying? It was
That's
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah, through Teddy Roddy. Shout out to Teddy
So, like,
Roddy.
Benzino, I really love your magazine.
Well, yeah, he did.
I wanna
say
be on the
he
front
did-
page.
He did acknowledge the source, but the phone call was because when Eminem disrespected him and when he burnt his hair in the video. Remember?
Right.
Tried to play Mike. Mike was mad about that, and he thanked me for saying something about it against Eminem.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel disrespected if anyone disrespects Michael.
Come on,
Because
man.
it's
Mike
just
is the
like he's
greatest
such a
ever.
legend of what he did. Like,
Greatest
don't disrespect the OGs, man.
And
Like, I
not
don't
only
care.
a legend, but as a person, Mike was one of the coolest, most soft-spoken people of all. I mean, you never
So Michael Jackson thanked you for checking Eminem.
That was number one. Then he shut down Dave and Buster's and brought me, Teddy, and a few other one. My man 2 times, God rest his soul, JB, and brought us all to Dave and Buster's and shut the whole thing down. There was nobody in there but us, like about 7 of us, 8 of us.
Wow.
And Mike liked playing that flight simulator game.
Wow.
Yeah, that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in a little kitchenette in the studio, and he came in. I turned around, I had the shrimp. He, so Mike, I was like, you want some? You know what I'm saying? He was like,
Right.
no, thank you, I'm fine. I was nervous.
That's
so
crazy.
not too many people. I get
Right,
that,
like,
you
but
know what I'm
Mike,
saying?
that hit different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, man, it was an amazing experience.
That's crazy. So, fan question number 2: best story you ever have with a rap star? Best experience,
Shit.
or wildest
I've had a
time?
lot of them. You know what I'm saying? I've had me and Ja Rule had them, but I can't say those because
A little
Ja's
too
married
crazy.
and shit. Yeah.
Shout out to Ja Rule, man. I love Ja
Shout
Rule.
out to the rooster. You know what I'm saying?
So, all right, here we go. Right here, favorite movie of all time.
Favorite movie of all
And don't say Scarface or Belly, because I love those two.
Favorite movie of all time would have to be that I could watch all the time. That's a good one. I'm just gonna say at the top of my head, I mean, I really love Goodfellas.
Oh yeah, classic. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And The Godfather. It would be a tie. You know what I'm saying? Goodfellas
Right.
and The Godfather.
Worst rapper.
I don't get into worst rappers. Yeah. I don't get into best rappers. I don't get into worst rappers. I just know that, you know, everybody has some type of creativity. You got to find it. It might not be rapping. It could be something else. Just don't stay too long on something if it's not working. You
Switch
know
it
what
up,
I'm saying?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Switch that shit up. So,
Favorite food.
man.
I know you got probably seafood.
I love lobster.
Right.
I love,
That's what I was
lobster.
thinking. Yeah. Best singer. Your favorite singer. R&B.
Diana Ross.
Classic. I know you got a girl, but
That I love very
celebrity
much.
celebrity crush.
She's beautiful, gorgeous, pretty face, fat ass. Celebrity crush. I mean, I've had a few. I've dated a few celebrities, so you know what I'm saying. So, but a celebrity crush.
Oh, wait. You mind me asking what celebrities has Benzino dated over his career? You've been in the game since '87 or more.
I'm gonna give you a hint. I can't name names because, like I said, I'm writing my book and telling my story.
Right. This book gonna be crazy.
what I'm
When you get that book out, we got to do another episode.
Yes, but I could say some of your favorite rappers. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you date Foxy Brown?
I mean, I could just say some of your favorite rappers.
Okay. Turn up.
Some of your favorite actresses. Some of your favorite video girls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Favorite.
Some of your favorite guys' wives.
Wow.
Favorite wives. So yeah, some of your favorite, moguls. Rappers,
Man, Benzino
wives.
been out here breaking hearts and breaking up happy homes and shit.
I mean, yeah,
or breaking up sad homes.
I catch a lot of flack. You know, people always talking about something about, but it's like women have never ever been a problem since Boston, and people will tell you that. Like,
you ever fucked your homie's girl before?
I have. He asked me. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be hard sometimes, man.
It's happened. I mean, it's happened. I wasn't proud of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't do that shit on a regular. But
I don't know if you heard about it recently. It came out. Damon Dash was talking about the situation with Jay-Z and Aaliyah. Mm-hmm. So apparently they were both pursuing Aaliyah at the same time. He said that Jay-Z was like sending her flowers and like courting her.
That happens.
And Dame came in, and it was a whole big thing. Like, what do you think about that situation?
That's happened since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody
like
was
women,
trying to get Aaliyah.
that's how beautiful women are, and that's how their effect on us as men. That's exactly how it happens in the jungle with lions and gorillas, and I'm sure fish do.
Even like peacocks, they show their like big feathers to get the girl.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a competition and shit. You know what I'm saying? They both want to look. You know what I'm saying? Look at the shit me and Sleezo went through on Love and Hip Hop.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
do you think did you ever meet Aaliyah?
I've never met her.
Uh-oh.
Never met it. God rest her soul.
Yeah, R.I.P. to her, man. I feel like if Aaliyah was still alive right now, she would still be like the hottest singer. What you think? You think she would have been able to stay relevant this whole time?
I like Aaliyah's music, but as far as, what I'm saying, Aaliyah was like, she was like, to me, she was too young and kind of small, like slim. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Does she remind you of your daughter, Coi, a little bit? Like
she does.
Kind of the style.
And that you said that, I haven't thought, but now you said that, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? That you said that, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you think like Beyonce kind of took her place? Because like I remember, Beyonce came after that.
I don't know, because see, Aaliyah wasn't a sex symbol like that though. That's the whole thing. Aaliyah was a little tomboyish, and
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? She wasn't giving off sex appeal like that.
Right.
She wasn't twerking and stuff like that. She wasn't. You didn't see her in no thong bikini or bikini.
Right.
Bikini. You know what I'm saying? So she just was a pretty girl who she sung so sultry, and her songs were so,
She had good records.
Yeah.
Didn't R. Kelly, did he write the records or did she write the records?
She wrote some.
She wrote some.
Timberland, wrote some. You know what I mean? Everybody, Missy, they had a great team around
They had a
her,
great team. Genuine, the whole squad.
For sure.
You ever worked with R. Kelly?
Damn, I think I did. I think I had some type of song or something with R. Kelly. I'm not sure. I think so. I'm not sure. I think something. I'm not sure. But I've worked with so many people. I mean, a lot of people, man.
Do you think we should free R. Kelly? Give him another chance?
Everybody deserves chances. Nobody should be locked away forever.
Right.
Like, that shit is preposterous. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like I don't want y'all to get mad at me, but I feel like we should give R. Kelly another chance. But like with rules, like he gotta like he can't be around no young girls. Like, you know, rules. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody who's mad with you better be perfect.
Right. Everybody has sinned. We all sin differently.
They're gonna need their second chance. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. Third, fourth, fifth. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Now so you said your favorite movie was Godfather
and Goodfellas.
And Goodfellas.
I'm in a couple of movies too, by the way. I'm on
Tell us what movies. What
Tubi
movies
right now?
on?
Just came out, On the Run. It's called On the Run.
Hey.
An Indictment.
It's on Tubi right now.
Right now, like
okay, I'm watching that tonight. Y'all tune in and watch that on Tubi.
Listen, I've been getting my shit off with my acting, but this next movie I just did. So this next movie is like a 50 Shades of Grey, and it's and I got like multiple scenes in this. Like.
Is that your new focus? Getting into more acting
I'm
and
doing
big
good
screen?
in it, man. You got to see, you got to see me. I'm proud of myself. I've been like, wow, because the more I'm doing it, the more I know how to do it. And these last couple of movies, I did really well, and I got some big roles in it. So
wow,
just check
hey,
them
congratulations
out.
to that, man. Round of applause to that.
Shout out to Nikki Turner, Ed, and Dennis Reed, and Terry Miles on the new one. They're all great directors. Tubi is showing all these great black movies for us, by us. When you look at all the movies like Boys in the Hood and Men's Society, Hollywood don't fuck with that no more.
Right.
So these Tubi movies are now, we get to watch movies about us. We don't have to watch Netflix and watch, like the Bollywood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't have to watch that. You know what I'm saying? We can watch our shit.
So as an actor, what actor do you inspires you the most?
I mean, you got to say Denzel.
I was thinking the same thing.
No, you have
Denzel.
to. You just
love Denzel.
And Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. I mean, these guys,
legends.
These guys are just, they become the character.
Right.
You're not looking at them nothing but the character. How they,
I'm waiting on Equalizer Part 3 to come out.
Love it.
Y'all heard about that? That's coming out soon. I love Equalizer 1 and 2. Now, what do you think about Jamie Foxx?
Thank God he's all right. And he pulled through, and how amazing that is, and how strong he is. I know him personally. Like, shot a video. He gave me his house to shoot a video.
Are you serious? The one that's on the hill, the big one.
The one with me. It was.
I be seeing on Instagram.
It was the one with me. I don't know if he probably got a bigger one, but this was back when me and Lisa Ray had did a song. It was like 2003, I think. And we was in Hollywood.
He just gave you the key, like, here, man. Take the crib.
He was there. He got in the video.
That's crazy.
If you see, it's called Would You with me and Lisa Ray and
this
Jamie.
This guy has worked with everybody in the industry. It's so crazy.
Jamie's a cool dude.
Did you see his new movie, Clone Tyrone?
I haven't seen it because I've been running around, but
Very
Ashley,
good.
my girl's seen it. She's like the movie, so she said it was dope.
Very good movie. Now there are rumors, people saying Jamie Foxx has been cloned. All this clone stuff, man. Is there any truth to this?
Yeah, well,
do you think people are really getting cloned?
Two of me.
Is this true though? Like, do people get cloned? Shit. Like, because I've been hearing about people getting cloned for a minute though.
Like some real DP shit. Two of me. I can see me like me hitting her from the back and her on me, like
running trains and shit.
Yeah, like that'd be crazy.
Running train with your clone.
Yo, like how to see. See, I know what to do with a clone. You know what I'm saying? I'd have fun with my clone.
Do you think you think your girl would be down with that? Like if you had a clone, like to do a threesome?
I think she would. I think my baby, I didn't think of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think she would be. You know what I'm saying? But my girl is so dope. She was on. She actually was on a TV show on Oprah. Wow. Something I forgot the name of it, but she was on there, and it was her and her guy she was with at the time, and then she ended up leaving him for a girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, so like my girl.
So she like girls.
Yeah.
So do you guys ever bring another female into the bedroom?
Without just blatantly, so she don't get mad, just say that, you know what I'm saying? How can I say it? I guess I said it.
Yeah, I'll turn up a little bit.
I love you, Ashley.
That's what's up, man. So, all right, so but realistically though, you don't think cloning is real? Like, you think they can really clone somebody, that technology?
I think you can. It's just like twinning. Like they're making twins now. Like you can,
because they can take your DNA and grow someone.
$10,000 and have twins, like 20,000 or something. Like everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, all Mariah, J-Lo, everybody who got twins, like those are paid off. They paid twins. You go in the store, there's like twins, triplets, and then you just give them the money, and then they do some shit with your shit and freeze it and throw it up in, do some things, and twins. So
right.
Of course they can clone you. Of course.
Because, it's a lot of conspiracies out, man. They even saying like some of these Disney characters are like really clones and they made them and they're not real.
I don't think it's gotten that far yet. I think that eventually You know what I'm saying? If they want, like they're still really working with DNA, and I'm sure they'll be able to work to say like, okay, they're not going to be able to clone another, like I'm 58, so they're not going to be able to get another 58-year-old me. You see, that's what I'm saying. If they're going to clone, it has to clone at a
They got to grow it.
at a baby stage.
They got to grow you.
It has to baby stage,
Right.
and then it grows. Right? You can't clone.
It's not like a pod where they can grow you
How
in
they
like
gonna
a
do
week
that?
or something. Yeah.
Like, come on, we've watched enough movies and common sense to say, come on now, like that,
Yeah.
they can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But I could see them cloning something that just came out,
Right.
and then growing it,
Right.
just like they do weed. You know what I'm saying? The
Like
same
you clone,
shit.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So I got to ask you, I got a couple more questions.
on,
I know
man.
you got to
Let's
get
go.
out of
This is
here.
dope,
But
man.
now
I
we
love
got
this.
the hip hop legend in the building, man. I got to ask you, as a hip hop legend, you've seen it all, you've been around it all, you've done it all. Is the Illuminati real?
Well, I want to live a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? No, but look, the only people who are in it are gonna know because it's a secret society. There are definitely secret societies in the world, 100%.
Within the entertainment industry, are there?
I'm thinking that there's secret societies in every industry, and when you reach that plateau of money, you know what I'm saying? There's a come on in the club right now. There's certain clubs that you can go to and you can't. It's the same thing. We can call them Illuminati, we can call them secret societies, clubs.
Certain
You know what I'm
levels.
saying? Yeah, man. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Like the people that run this world are the people who got the Mookington, the Fred, the bread, as Sleezo said, the bread.
Right.
Yeah, and that's just what it is. Now, what they do, how they do it, you're never going to know that, or else it wouldn't be a secret.
Right.
All we can do is assume. But, you'd be naive to think that there wasn't secret societies.
Right. So do you think it's like to get to a certain level in music at some point, like you reach a certain success?
Not just music, everything.
So you think like once you reach that level, like they'll approach you and like, yo,
Of
you want to
course.
be a real
course.
celebrity, number one
They're
household?
coming to you. Yeah, you're going to get that call, you know what I'm saying? Hello.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
get
you ready to
that
join?
hello, you know what I'm saying?
Facts. Now, on the show, we play this game where we ask our special guests to FaceTime a celebrity that they think will answer the phone. Who can Benzino call on FaceTime?
Right.
Oh, we got the Jeopardy music.
Let's see.
Hold on. Who we calling right now? Who is Benzino calling?
Right. Like, what the fuck? Okay, let me try one more. Let me text this nigga, tell him to call me. Okay, let me try this guy right here. I actually blocked this guy because I was pissed off, man. He's my friend.
I wonder who it could be.
Let me take him off block and then call and see if he picks up. All right, he's off block. All right. Let's see if he picks up.
Who is he calling? Hey, yo, what up, gang?
They said, we're playing the game. Can you FaceTime a famous celebrity? And I said, yeah.
Yo, turn it around. We got the one and only.
Where you at, N.O.?
We got the one and only Noriega. Put it up to the mic.
Yeah. Pick up on the first ring or what? He picked up on the first ring. That's my brother. I love you, my nigga.
Hey, Nori, hey, I just want to say I'm the biggest fan, man. You're a legend, man. I love you, brother, man. You a legend, man. You're a living legend, man. I love you, brother.
Hey, yo, you made me look good. I owe you lunch.
Hey, and shout out to Drink Champs, man.
Shout out to Drink Champs.
Let's get it. Hey, Nor, I got to get you on the We in Miami podcast, man. I got to get you down here.
No,
in
I'm
Miami.
in Miami. It's called We in Miami. I'm in Miami. Look.
Okay, we figure it out.
He be having mad naked chicks in here too.
I'm married, man. I don't got
I'm gonna call you when I
gang.
leave, bro. All right,
All right, we
one.
say. Hey, that was lit. Round of applause for Benzino.
That's my brother, man. Like, we go through so much together.
Why you block him?
We was arguing over some shit. I forgot the fuck it was. It was some crazy shit, some ham. Something, man. He blocks me too. You know.
Speaking of Noriega, man, I was looking at an interview of him, kind of to go back to what we was talking about. He said, you know, he had like the #1 album, and like it was certain things he didn't want to get down with, and then he said after that, you know, they kind of, I don't know if he was saying they blackball him, but he never really had the #1 after that.
He's right. Like, I know if me and Dave would have kept going to Source and made that $100 million, like, you know, company we wanted to make it, I believe they would have came. I mean, there was already, Dave was trying to do, he was trying to have me sit down with these one group of guys that was just, I mean, they was really, really fruity. And it was like the shit they was talking about was crazy. And I remember this was when we was getting real money and I just wasn't with it. And it was 2 meetings and then, you know, they stopped, you know what I'm saying? But they was trying to get niggas down with something.
Right.
And, you know, but we ended up, you know, of course, shit happened. And then, you know what I'm saying? So they was like, oh, them niggas ain't got it no more. Fuck them, you know what I'm saying? It took me a while to even like, to be tolerant like that because growing up, it wasn't around me.
It was different when you
It
grew
just
up.
wasn't around,
Yeah.
period. It just wasn't, we wasn't used to it, all right? We around niggas that fuck with pussy. Everybody was all about pussy.
Right.
And if it was, we never knew, I never knew.
Listen, I had a lot of people on the show. You know, we going viral a lot. A lot of people tell me they get their ass ate by a girl. I don't think that that's gay. There's nothing wrong with getting your ass ate.
I have. Word to Sukiyan.
Hey, Benzino got that salad toss. Load up.
Listen, man, listen, at the end of the day, we're all sexual beings. And
So your new girl, has she ever like HOS?
I mean, I can't say that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, one thing I can say is that as a man, you should want to get with somebody that matches your
energy, yeah.
Your energy, your sexual energy.
Right.
Because that's what's going to keep a man from not cheating.
Right.
If that sexual energy is matched all the way to what I could just tell you that our sexual energy matches.
Everything we do is for pussy.
That's
If you
why
really think
God
about
said, don't bite the apple, Adam, because see, God made us to procreate. He didn't make this to feel that good. That's what I think.
Right.
Because, you know, nutting is all a nigga think about every day, all day.
Right.
Seeing a girl, I want to nut, I want to fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think the Adam and biting the apple. I don't think, like, he wanted us to lust like that over sex. And I think that's where the whole apple biting came in. And once that happened.
Think niggas is too horny?
I'm horny every day. The fuck? I can't even help it. Fucking Adam, bro.
You never practice semen retention? Kevin Gates, you know, he
What's that?
talked
Jacking
about
off? Yeah, I
semen.
jack off all the time.
Nah, like where you don't come, like you hold it in. You
The
never
fuck
tried.
is that?
Well, you know, it
That'll
like
fuck
opens
you
up your
up.
third eye
No,
and like,
hell
you know
no,
what I mean?
that'll actually
You know
make
how
you-
like boxers don't
The
nut
reason
before
why I
they
stay
fight.
young
You know
is
what I mean?
because I'm letting the nut out of you. You
Oh,
gotta
you let it out?
because,
Okay,
because
okay,
dead
yeah.
nut makes you, it ages you.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, you got to get that shit out.
So you don't believe in that philosophy
Hell
that Kevin
no,
Gates
get that
was
shit
saying?
out. Get it out. Get it out.
He said,
Yeah,
"Get
you
it
got
out."
blue balls. Your balls are swelling up. Get that shit out, my nigga. Yeah, man, listen.
Hey,
be like
man.
this, like, and they be like, "Oh, it's a boy."
Hey man, well I want
It was
to.
a crazy joke I heard years ago.
Hey yo, I want to say thank you so much to
this was
Benzino,
dope,
man.
man.
It's such an
Great
honor to
time.
have on the legend, man.
Come
like
on, man.
you
You're
taught
dope
me
too,
so
man.
much knowledge today.
Dope,
like,
you're dope.
like this is probably the best interview I ever had. He's such a real knowledgeable guy,
really
man. Like
appreciate you.
I'm an honor to have you. I
And you call
appreciate
me
it.
anytime for anything. I'm there.
Hey, appreciate that, man. Taking the time out of your schedule.
Appreciate you.
Make sure y'all check out his new movies coming out. Make sure y'all follow him.
And I want to shout out my bros Slab and D that came down here. Come here, Zeno, because Zeno's with me. Me get Zeno on camera.
Come in here, man. You got your
Come
son
here.
in the
I got
building.
The Z, the baby Z.
Hey, what up, brother?
Z.
What up?
Give him that.
Say something to the mic, man. Say something to
What
the
you
mic.
wanna say?
Hello.
So yeah, man. So you know, I mean, listen, man. Call me for anything. I'm gonna be working with my partners, Man and Tiger, on a documentary. You know what I'm saying? I can't really say what it is, but it's gonna be huge. And like I said, the Crab Trap's opening up. I got some new music coming out, and you know, God is good, man.
Wow, so y'all look out for new music, new restaurants, new movies, everything, man. Look out for Benzino, man. Shout out to that. But before we get out of here, you know I gotta ask, who we at, gang?
Say we in Miami.
We in Miami.
We in Miami.
We in Miami, G. We in Miami. We in Miami, G. We in Miami.
We in Miami.